Welcome to the Lost Lowdown Podcast 185 with your hosts, Claude and Justin.
What's up, guys?
Hey, we're back, continuing our Season 5 commentary series with episode 516, The Incident Parts 1 and 2. I guess
Ooh,
we're finishing our Season 5 commentary series here. So
this is the end of
this
the
is the
season
end,
5.
of Season 5. And we made it.
Finally, right? Come on, am I
Yeah,
right?
it did feel like a long time. It felt
It's
long.
the longest short season ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Especially
all
the second half. Oof.
yeah. It's all down to this and yeah, it's really been a slog this season. I'm really surprised how how meaningless so much of the plot was,
Yeah.
and I think this is really the shape of things to come, to coin a
Ooh.
phrase. Where there's just season 6 has a lot of meaningless plot itself. So
Yeah, that's true.
um
We'll see how if it I'm curious how it will seem in comparison.
mhm
If it will seem worse, better, the same.
mhm
I don't really know. It's hard to I think it's hard to like I was listening to people talking about the Game of Thrones series finale and like it's hard to separate sometimes like how good a thing is just like by itself versus how good is it as an ending for the
mhm
whole series.
mhm
And I feel like that's one of the problems with season 6. And I feel like that's part of why season 5 has a natural advantage because it's not the
yep
end of the series. I
yep
think that immediately lowers the bar
mhm
for how good it needs to be. Because it can kind of just stand on its own and there's stuff after that. And season 6 is like, it was like extra disappointing because it was like, this is
that's
it,
all you get. Yep.
Like, this is what you want to tell us? Like, after all that?
Mhm.
Why? Why did we go through all that? If that's all there was, and it's like, yeah, we should have known, of course, but we didn't.
Yeah,
And
I think the best version of Lost is like 3 seasons long. I think you truncate it
yeah,
down, you cut out a lot of extraneous stuff. You can get it down to a nice 18 episodes, 3 seasons, I think is enough.
yeah,
Plenty.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I think they probably would have had to cut some characters and some plot lines
Oh
clearly
no.
to to get it down there. Oh, the other thing I was thinking about. So, like, tell me what you think. Like, so I was thinking about one of the cool things about Lost. I think is that for a while there, in my opinion, they were pretty good at adding new characters. So like
Mhm.
we had our season 1 characters and like
Mhm.
everybody loves them and look, to be honest, like they were the VIPs of the show. You can tell by the ending.
They're the only ones who
Season 1
matter.
was like, you know, oh, you're season 1. Well, get the fuck in here. I don't care if you
Mhm.
were in like 2 episodes, Boone,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
whatever. You're like special forever, so like season 1 and it is good. So I get it. But they added Desmond and the tail people, who all died more or less except Bernard, but
Mhm.
Mr. Echo and Lucia, like there was some good stuff there.
Mhm.
And in season 3 we got Juliet and Ben, of course, Henry
Mhm.
Gale, huge character. um Desmond, I mean, we got our problems with Desmond, but uh he was a good character at least for a time.
Mhm.
um and then like in season 4 we had the freighter
Yep.
people, you
Yep.
know um Faraday and Miles and Charlotte and Frank, and maybe they wear out their welcome a little bit, but um but they were good for a time. It was like very
Mhm.
interesting plot line. And they really added something to the show. So I was just thinking about like going forward. So like, who are the new characters in season 5? And you know, it's like, I don't know, uh the Dharma people, like,
No one good. Yeah.
not
Mhm.
good,
Nope.
not good. And then like, who else really? I mean, we sort of have like Alana and Bram and stuff, and like they're fine. I think they're
Yeah,
not too
I think
bad.
Alana is the last interesting character added to the show. I think
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
the last one.
I agree. That's just what I was gonna say. Like, and you know, Jacob and Man in Black are sort of like special cases because
Mhm.
that's a whole like mythology plot thing that makes it like, well, they were really there the whole time, so they're like not new characters. Like, okay, fine, but it's like it is different. I acknowledge. But yeah, like in season 6, we get so, but that's a pretty small number, and really, like
Mhm.
Alana gets quite a bit more screen time in season 6 than she does in this season.
Yep.
You know, like we've barely seen her at this point. We have no
Yeah, I
idea.
forgot she was on the show.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy to, you know. So I think she really had more stuff to do then, and definitely was an interesting character. But like I'm thinking about people like Zoe, you know,
Oh, Zoe.
uh like the new season 6 characters where it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
really? And like Seamus.
Yikes. I barely remember who that is.
Yeah, I know you shouldn't because it doesn't really matter. I mean, there really weren't very many new characters in season 6 because it was about like closing the show up and it wasn't the time to introduce new characters.
Mhm.
But and I think, you know, of course, the later they go, the less time we have to like even care.
Yeah.
Um but I was just going to give credit, and I think it primarily applies to the first 4 seasons, which I do think there's a break there with season 5. I think season 4 has its problems, but and like some of the Oceanic 6 stuff is like a bit tedious,
Mhm.
but I think it holds up better than season 5 overall. It seemed
Yep.
much more interesting when we were watching it, and the new characters are great, and so I feel like overall, like if I were talking about the show, like I think that's the thing they did really well because a lot of times, at least for me, like if I watch a TV show and some new character comes in, it's like, who are you? Like, I don't
Mhm.
like you. You know, I'm kind of inclined automatically to sort of be suspicious of brand new characters. Like, I'm supposed to care about you now. Like,
Mhm.
what's the deal? And I feel like it is a symptom of the show, like going off the rails a bit, that the new characters start to become crappier. Like the Dharma characters are like the perfect example of this. Like none of them really works at all. Like I think I don't know who's the best Dharma character. Like Pierre Chang,
Yeah. Absolutely
probably,
100%.
and he's fine. But I think the
He's just not actively bad. He's
yeah,
not he's not on the positive side, he doesn't rate super high, but he doesn't have anything on like the negative side. So
yeah,
that's what makes his average good.
yeah,
Whereas the other
exactly.
characters have a lot on the negative side. And Horace has like
Oof.
0 and 0.
Oh,
And
what a flat
he's just like
line
a
he
complete
is.
zero character.
He's just like a pile of like dough
Yeah.
that
Somebody forgot to do something with.
yeah, exactly.
Who
Like
left this pile of dough here? That's Horace.
sitting in a bowl somewhere.
Yeast rising. Yeah, I was gonna say, with season 4, I think one of the big things that makes that season great is it was redefining the ideas of the island. It was redefining the characters' relationship to the island, and
Yeah.
specifically with the freighter people, it brought back this idea of science and another way to investigate what was
Mm-hmm.
going on.
True.
And that was a bit of a fool's errand, but it was at
Mm-hmm.
least worth exploring that in a very specific, way, a scientific way of like, okay, let's see what's going on here.
Right.
And So that made it really interesting. It was a nice breath of fresh air. Season 5 is all over the place, and then once it settles into the Dharma stuff, Dharma, they don't seem to care about the island or its mysteries.
Right.
They care about their experiments,
Yeah.
but it was never convinced to me that um, they had any clue what they were doing or why they were
No.
doing it. There was no, we're going to build the Orchid Station so we can do XYZ. We're going to build the Swan Station so we can do XYZ. We're going to, it was just
Right.
like, we're just doing this thing because in the future, which is the previous seasons, we did these things. So it's almost like that, just a symptom of it being uh plot that takes place in the past where they don't have to justify why they're doing these things because they've already sort of done those things, and they just have to kind of go through the motion story wise of like, yeah, they built the thing here, yeah, they built the thing here, but it would have been
Right.
great if there was some sense. Like, I've never seen scientists so uninspired
Yeah.
with their
Yeah.
experiments, and not really, yeah, just so I think that that's a big disconnect. And it's a complete different situation of like, you got the Dharma or the freighter scientists who came and were really interested in the island and what was going on, but like Dharma was just kind of like, we're doing something and I guess it matters, but I don't know. And like, we don't know why Chang signed up for this job, or how Rosinski signed up for this. How,
Right.
we don't get their origin stories.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of a problem.
That's true. That's the
And
difference with the freighter. They do get
Yeah,
flashbacks. And same
yeah,
for
exactly.
Juliet and Desmond and all that.
Yeah, there's a whole big reason why they were sent to the multiple reasons why they were sent to the island. So yeah, so I think that that's a problem, and we both season 4 and 5, we're doing the relationship tango thing, and Jack and Kate and Sawyer and
Oof.
Juliet, and so that, that back
Ugh.
and forth, because I was thinking about season 3 and the whole thing with Sawyer and Kate,
Oh boy.
and
Yep.
Jack and all that, the whole love triangle thing being
Yep.
being a thing, and it's like, it's fine, I guess, but they just spend so much time on that. But what I was
Yeah.
gonna say, the church scene in the end, season 6. It would have been great if the whole church was every fucking character. You know,
Yeah.
just bring them all. Bring them all. Like, it's fine. If you were in multiple episodes and you had an arc, you should be at the church.
Yeah.
If you caused some harm or some good to the main cast, I think you should have been at the church at the end, and it could have said something bigger, about this whole afterlife idea. But yeah, it was. It's weird who got picked and who didn't get picked, um, and yeah, it just yeah, I agree with you. It just kind of made it weird. It should have been, everyone should have been there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was weirdly exclusive. And it's
Hmm.
almost like I don't know. I mean, I know shows always like to go back to the beginning.
Hmm.
And so it's like the people who were there at the beginning, but like no Marshall. I don't know. It's just it's a bit arbitrary
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
me. Like and then they're trying to sell like these are the most important people in your life. And it's like this guy that you knew for like what, like a week and a half? Like
Hmm. Hmm.
really? Like, and then his sister who died like 5 days later. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, come on. I don't understand like why they're more important than any number of other people that you should have had like way more, I don't know, way
Yeah, it
more
could have been an
connections
interesting.
to.
It could have been an interesting thing to.
Miles
This
isn't
is.
there. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it would have been too specific, but it could have been something like, the people in the church are the people that you would die for, or that you would go the great lengths to protect, or they, something like that, like some sort of qualifier that would kind of make sense. So it's not about the length of time so much as the connection that was made, right? Like, that's kind of what it should have been. And so to a certain degree, it's like, okay, I can see why some characters aren't there, but some characters made big impacts and aren't there. So
yeah.
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, like Michael, like is one
I
of the
love how we're
biggest
not talking
characters.
about the incident. We're
Oh,
like, it's like we're avoiding it for some reason. So that season 1
I'll-
finale was good. That boy's coming with us. I mean, that was great. Got to give me that Walt.
uh, yeah, I was gonna say a few things that's related to season 5. I got pulled into that tangent, but we will be able to talk about season 6, of course, in its own time. Anyway, a couple of things. The one thing I realized is that like basically Dharma in Lost is like kind of like the scientists in The Leftovers, where it's
Mm.
like they're doing science, but actually it doesn't matter, and they're not really going to find anything that's important for the story.
Depends on how you think of the end, but yeah,
Well, okay, if you're talking about
yeah,
the death cult, like, yeah, that was a different thing, but I'm really talking about, like, those people who went to, like, Nora's house
yeah,
and they were,
yeah.
like, taking measurements and shit, like,
Hmm.
that's to me, that's sorta like what Dharma is,
Yep.
like, it's like, the other thing was more, yeah, more mystical or something where it's like there was a bit of weirdness involved, with their membership and all that. And yeah, you could debate whether that actually happened or not. But nonetheless, I think uh uh the show isn't really about them. Like they're just kind of like
Hmm.
I don't know, their background or
Yeah, it's window dressing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're just like adding a little bit of texture to the story, but I think spending this much time in it, it is weird. Like, there's a couple things that's weird about it to me. Like, number one, there's no intrigue about Dharma whatsoever, which is
Nope.
strange. And number two is, um, in terms of Pierre Chang, who, as we said, is probably like the most tolerable Dharma character.
Hmm.
Uh, is utterly demystified, which I'll acknowledge is consistent with Lost, with David Lindelof's mode of doing things, blah, blah,
Hmm.
blah. It's totally in character for the show that this happens, but it's like this was such a mysterious character who was taking all these different names for unknown reasons, and he
Hmm.
only existed on these old orientation films. And
Hmm.
when you see him in press, it's just like, oh, he's just a regular guy and he smiles his dad and like
Yeah, he's feeding his baby at night.
no big deal. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use an alias. It's like, why? I don't know. It's just sort of like at a certain
Hmm.
point, it's like it's like everybody knows it. It never made any sense to me.
It
It's
just
like
never makes
it's
sense.
kind of like a long version of the Faraday thing, where like at the beginning of the
Hmm.
season they show him and he's like hiding his face from
Yeah,
Chang, and then when we see the scene, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go talk to him now,"
yeah. I don't have
and
to hide
it's
my
like,
face.
"What the fuck?" It's like everybody knows who you are. It's like the only reason he was doing that is because it seemed cool and mysterious. But then when they want to show him, it's like, oh yeah, he
Yeah, they didn't
everybody
want
knows.
to. Yeah, they didn't want to let off that he had been in the Dharma Initiative for a while, so they knew who he was.
Yeah,
So they pretend like, oh, he's sneaking in there, but it's like, I mean, he is sneaking in there, but they're not going to freak out if they see him there because he's been there for years.
yeah, exactly. I feel like the people going to those stations are just gonna be like, that's pure.
So that begs the question: who are the videos for? Which we never found out. You know,
Exactly.
it goes back to what you're saying about the lack of intrigue. Like you could have had this exact same season play out, but actually present a mystery for Dharma. Like the whole idea of what they were
Yes.
after could have still been here, and you could have even had Chang tell somebody, you know, listen, I was sitting here to do this thing, but this is bigger than I even imagined.
Yeah.
Who's ever behind this, maybe they should be stopped. You could actually throw up some new intrigue or tie into some existing intrigue and never
Yeah.
resolve it. Just never resolve it and let it be fine. And show us that there was more to Dharma than meets the eye instead of saying actually there was nothing more than meets the eye. It's exactly what you thought it was. It goes back to um what's it called? Mm, Something I left. What's it called? New Man in Charge.
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like even that they have to go and go. Well, here's how they get the supply drops.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how the labels get on all the products.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
and
Right.
it's a weird thing, right? Because we want answers, but then we don't.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I think Lost. It's unfair that they get criticized for not giving answers when they gave a lot of answers, and they were kind of systematic. Oh, you want to know about this? Here, it's that
Mm-hmm.
thing, and it's like, boring.
We don't want that.
Yeah, give us interesting
That sucks.
answers.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. Is like for a specific example of something I remember really wanting from. So I think for Dharma actually would have been better if they sort of introduced a new thing or a new angle or something
Mhm.
that we didn't know before, and like that could be sort of a driving mystery of that plot. I think that's probably the best course of action. But just to bring up one of the most dead horses on this podcast, um, I really wanted something about Horace in the cabin. You
Mhm,
know,
mhm.
like the whole reveal that like he built the cabin was one of the most mystifying things to me, and
Yeah.
I really thought when we saw Horace and they spent so much time showing fucking Horace that there would even
Mhm.
be even a throwaway line about the cabin.
Yeah,
It's
yep.
not even referenced
No.
once. It's like they go this whole time, and I was just like, I know that if they told me something, I would find it disappointing and frustrating, probably.
Mhm.
But it's like it's right there in your face. It's just weird to why even tell us that Horace built the. What does it mean? I just
Mhm.
to me it's such a bizarre thing to do and then drop it completely
Well,
like
and they don't even connect it to what we know about Horace and the like,
exactly.
like him having the blueprints in his uniform or
Oh
whatever
yeah,
that scene
yeah.
was. Like they could have showed that happening, or like you know, a classic would be the last scene we see of Horace in the season would be him coming up with the idea for the cabin or something,
Yeah, 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 exactly. A
or
small
this.
thing like that
Hmm.
even would have been nice. Just some
Yeah.
acknowledgement that, like, yeah, we know
Hmm.
that's a thing, and this character really did that, and maybe we don't have to tell you what that means or how that worked
Yeah.
or whatever, but
Even
like,
earlier in the season, when he was drunk and blowing stuff up, you know, Sawyer could have talked to him and said, man, you need to channel this anger into a hobby, and he could just say, I've always wanted to build a cabin, and that's it. And you
yeah,
never have to talk about it ever
yeah,
again,
yeah, yeah, definitely,
you
definitely.
know.
Like that wouldn't have really provided like anything too concrete to hold on to,
Hmm.
but I would have appreciated just the idea that like, I guess a slight spinoff from that would be like an acknowledgement or appearance of the smoke monster in the 70s. I
Hmm.
do feel like that's kind
Hmm.
of a huge gap, and I really wonder why they did that. It's sort of like they weren't afraid to show Richard Albert in both storylines. I mean, did they think it would be too confusing, or did they want to keep the smoke monster off screen more to sort of make it a bigger surprise?
It's surprising that they didn't show the smoke monster attacking the Dharma compound and using the
Yeah.
sonic fence.
Yeah,
It's really surprising because they come back to that in season 6. They
they
bring the
do.
fence, Widmore brings the fence or
Yeah.
whatever, and so yeah, it would have been nice to have that idea. And maybe that just came off as a distraction or something, if they would have done that. But the conspiracy theorists in me want to go, well, that just means that someone in season five is Man in Black. He's just impersonating someone the whole time.
Oh my god. Yikes. I guess you can't really disprove that.
Hmm.
Cuz like basically all those Dharma people ended up dead eventually. So
Hmm.
you could always say that, one of them was killed, he took their face and like oh man, that would be so crazy. Yeah, I lived a Dharma for like 15 years. What?
Yeah.
Really?
I
In a
mean,
way like
honestly,
it would
wouldn't that be
sense.
great? Yeah, because he knows the powers of the island,
Yeah.
so he can help them devise their experiments and
Actually,
where to
that's kind of what he
drill.
was doing when at the
Hmm.
way back in the day with those like rando people. He was
Yep.
like, "Oh, look, there's like a magnet thing here. Let's dig here and I'm going to build this thing and I'm going to
Hmm.
like figure out how to
Well,
harness
I mean,
the
there's your
energy."
you could totally do a thing where he's Rosinski this whole time,
Oh god.
and
Oh
that
shit.
and
It
he's
just got
trying
more
to
interesting.
it just got more interesting. And he's trying to kill everyone on the island by exploding the pocket of
Oh my god.
energy,
Yeah, it's
and
actually
and
way better now.
and that's
Way better.
thanks,
Just
man.
one thing.
Just one little thing,
It's
yeah.
so
And
simple.
so and it would all work if those pesky losties didn't come into play or
Right,
whatever.
right. And you don't even have to change Krasinski. Like
Mhm.
he could be an irritating character, and then it's like, oh shit, that was him like playing the
Yeah.
role.
Yep.
It changes the meaning completely.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's actually it's logical that he would even want to do that.
Yeah.
So God damn it.
I know, I
Ah.
know. There's a version of the show in some universe that's way better.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because I think, like, again, it would also tie it in with the plot that actually matters and not
Mhm.
with all this bullshit that doesn't matter and
Yeah.
never matters.
Yep. And it could be like, "Whoa, hey, that's why Jacob sent them to the 70s to stop Man in Black from destroying everyone on the island."
Right. Right. 100%. Oh man, it even
Yep.
does that.
It even
Yeah,
does
come
that.
on. Come on.
I
No,
know
I
it's yeah, it's stupid simple to make it make sense.
fucking shit. It's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I think, yeah, like even the character stuff like doesn't
Mhm.
matter or is
No.
stupid. It's
Yep.
like at least that could be a thing, but it's like you looked at her. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. Oh my god. I unbelievable.
And
It's
my
like
that's that's my the looking thing. They really just could have set that up,
I'm so irritated with that.
it's warranted because like if we did like if this wouldn't fix it, but a little thing of like Juliet and Sawyer before the Jack and Kate and them come to the 70s. They're in their the love nest or whatever, and he's like, I'll never look at another woman ever. Just some
Mhm.
line where he's
Right.
setting up this idea, and then later, when she's harping on this idea of you looked at another woman, like
Yeah.
we at least it feels as like it's part of a story because
Yeah.
it goes back to what he said before.
Right.
So it would feel a bit more organic and have some weight to it because it tells us that she put meaning and emphasis on this line that he said 6 episodes ago that we forgot about, or
Right.
something.
Right.
Like a little thing like that would have been nice,
Yeah.
And it kind of goes to that thing of like, I forgot her face, I can't remember what she looks like. It's that's almost there,
Right.
but yeah, they could have hit that a little bit harder, since she's gonna do the most extreme thing she's ever done in her life by triggering the bomb. So
Yeah.
I think that has to be predicated on an equally meaningful moment and decision, emotional idea. And I just think the idea that he glanced at Kate one time
Yeah.
is not enough to be like, oh, okay, that undercut 3 years of their relationship.
Yeah, yeah, that's like a deep level of insecurity. And I
Yeah.
know they have one scene where Julia, like her parents get divorced, so like
Hmm.
her parents got like it's just like that's to me that's just a bit much. I mean,
Hmm.
I need more than that to really believe that it's that deep. And to me, like in retrospect, like I know it could have meant different things at the time, but to me, the I don't remember her face speech actually means that he's moved on.
Yeah.
And it was true.
Yeah.
It's 100% true. He she's
He jumped
there.
out of a helicopter so he wouldn't be with Kate. Like he
Yeah.
didn't even want her that much
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
rescued
yeah.
off the island.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no, it was like I'm done with that, and I don't
Mhm.
care who's back or who I glanced at.
Mhm.
It's not that's not a
And
thing.
another angle they could have made Juliet's issue with her parents being divorced about abandonment, right? And
Right,
then you have a situation where Sawyer chooses to go after Kate, or he chooses Kate's idea over Juliet's idea, and now Juliet feels abandoned.
right.
And it's the abandonment that made her feel uneasy about the relationship because oh God, if he abandoned me once, he's gonna abandon me again. And that could have been the crux, right?
Right.
Like something like that. But this whole casual looked at her once, um, And like Kate's not even trying to come after Sawyer, so it's not even that
No,
angle. It doesn't
not
even
at
work.
all.
Yeah, so it
Neither
just
one of them is on that page. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's
Like this is
absurd.
not season 3, Juliet.
No,
Like
it's a manufactured thing, like
yeah.
completely.
Yeah, it's tough. It doesn't work, and it's unfortunate because this is how Juliet's character goes out. Sort of
Yeah.
diminished.
Yeah, it's like they didn't have room for her in season 6 or whatever, but
Hmm.
but they have room for Frank, like just so he can fly a stupid plane. It's just like he's just gonna
Hmm.
sit around and be bedraggled the whole time. It's just it's frustrating that yeah, there's it just feels like there's characters that are like waste of space in season 6. And
Hmm.
then Juliet has to go out like this. It's so lame. I know
Yeah.
they needed someone to do the bomb, but again, they all survive and they're right there. She
Hmm.
even survives for a bit,
Yeah, she
you know?
does.
So it's like she didn't need to die. They just
No.
decided that, they were done with the
Hmm.
character. And it kind of reminds me of some of the Game of Thrones shit. God, so it's gonna be so clear when this is recorded. Anyway, of just like I'm not going to be too specific, but just this thing where it feels like they're killing off characters not because like their story
Hmm.
really came to a natural conclusion, but just because they don't have time for that. Like
Yeah.
we just need you out of the way
Yeah.
so we don't have to like deal with you because we barely have time to deal with like the quote unquote important characters.
Hmm.
So it just feels a bit like that. Like we just need you out of the way because like we're done.
Yep. Yep.
And it's just it's disappointing. I just feel like she deserved better than that, basically.
She deserved way better than that. She was one of the best new characters added after the early seasons,
Yeah,
and was really consistent the whole time. And it's just really this last moment where they just kind of ruin her.
yeah, yeah.
Not completely ruined, but just this last moment just doesn't feel right.
It's bad. It's bad. And I don't like Faraday's ending either, but I actually think it's better
Mm-hmm.
overall. There's something a bit more compelling and dramatically satisfying
Yeah,
about
the
it.
only problem with his was it was just completely contrived,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah,
and it didn't make sense why he had to be so ridiculous in that last moment. But
yeah. But it wasn't down to like such a small thing. Like
hmm,
there was
hmm,
more at stake there. So like I sort of get the urgency. I mean, it is like a way over the top and it is totally contrived, but yeah, I think it's kind of a similar thing though. It's like get out of the way.
hmm,
we're we're kind of trying to pare this down so we can like end the show.
yeah,
And Charlotte, that thing, like I think they're just trying to like clear the deck a bit.
hmm,
Um, but I think Juliet gets it the worst because it's like the most extreme thing for like the smallest reason.
yeah, yep,
Because Dan like wants to accomplish something quite significant. It's not just like somebody looked at somebody once.
hmm,
It's just so ridiculous to even say out loud. Yeah, yeah, embarrassing. So anyway, that's definitely on a character level. Like putting Dharma plot aside, that
hmm,
is one of the most disappointing things about the way the Dharma plot like evolves. Just on that level, which like should be, it's about the characters. Like at least that could work.
hmm,
Because like leftovers, like perfect example, like yeah, the plot is a fucking disaster, but at least there was some good character stuff in there.
hmm.
You know, it wasn't
Yeah, there's
just
a lot of good character
arbitrary
stuff.
nonsense. What?
Yeah, I said a lot of good character stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, like that can help. Even if the plot descends into bullshit.
Well, season 5. Yeah, season 5. Yeah, I think the worst season.
I think it is, but I mean, it's the kind of thing where I need to sit through season 6 and think about it
Yeah.
as a whole. In my memory, I think it seems worse, but it is the thing we just watched, so I don't want to have that
Hmm.
recency bias or whatever.
I think season 6, in a way, is worse than 5 because none of the Flash sideways stuff really matters. So 50% of the
That
story
is a
is a waste of
problem.
time.
That is definitely a problem.
So I think it might end up being sort of a tie with season 5 or
Flash
just a
Hours
little
is
bit
like the
worse.
Dharma of season 6.
Yeah, like it just doesn't even matter. It's just wasted screen time.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be the rub there.
Yeah, that's true. That's
But all
true.
right, well, let's get into some incidents, parts 1 and 2.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, get ready if you're gonna sync up with us for incident part 1 and 2.
Woo. Finally.
Maybe should have been a third part. I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe it would have helped.
Maybe would have helped. All right, 4 parts. Okay, here we go. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Previously on Lost.
The Dharma folks.
Some Dharma folks.
He's all folksy. You learned that in Michigan?
So this is what I get confused about. I forgot to talk about that before, but I remember the original podcast being confused about. He's like, they're gonna explode the bomb because he knows that from history, right? Like, but it's like maybe it explodes because of what they do, their interference.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think Miles is going to bring that up at some point.
Oh, good.
And they're just
All
like,
right.
shut up. You.
So
Here we are, right?
who's this person?
You ready for
And
this?
what's happening? Like, I hate this already. I don't know why we're in this old house.
Yeah. He's like,
little-
he's doing like artisanal crafts.
He's
like-
upcycling.
He's upcycling totally. He's
Yeah.
definitely going for that like rustic feel.
Yeah.
Very
Modern
shabby
industrial.
chic.
Yeah, shabby chic. Little country cottage.
Yeah. Kind of a French country cottage.
Yeah.
Maybe the French Riviera.
Nouveau Beach.
Nouveau Beach.
So we get this, and Lost loves this. This is like the most Lost thing ever, where we just cut to someone and they're not doing anything interesting.
Totally out of
because we
context.
Don't know who they are, and yet don't
Yeah.
have the context.
Yeah. It's an island burrito right there.
Right? A little fish taco.
Or taco, yeah.
And then
Oh
this guy
boy.
shows
This
up.
fucking guy. Here we go. So yeah.
I mean, this is it, right? This is what the whole show is. It's these
This-
two fuckers not
These
getting along.
two fuckers. It's so true.
How did you eat?
I know, it's a good question.
I don't think they thought that through.
I agree. 100%.
How did they find it? Ooh, prove me
God.
wrong. You
That
are.
and other things too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit going on.
That doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? Yikes.
Oh God.
And the foot of the statue.
I'll never be in the cabin.
Which hasn't been built yet, but one day you'll know about that and I won't be there.
Yeah.
I called him Jacob. He didn't call him anything because he never gets a name.
Of course. Yeah, no,
There's
that
the
was a big
statue.
reveal. And the statue, of course, intact. Classic moment.
So
Pre-Black Rock
yeah,
is what that
this is
means.
the earliest point on the island we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, huge
now,
reveal. A
I'm
large
so
number of things in
confused.
there.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get my context in order. So we know who Jacob is. We've seen him before.
No, we've never seen either one of them.
Wait, what?
We've never seen either one of them.
Uh,
I mean, we've seen the smoke monster, but we've never seen Jacob.
I thought. Don't we see Jacob when during the 316 when Hurley gets on the
That's in
plane?
this episode.
Oh, I'm thinking of the future.
Yeah, they're gonna show that now because they're gonna show Jacob intervening in all their lives,
Gotcha.
and that's Hurley's thing.
Okay. So this is the whole reveal for all of them.
Yeah,
Well,
it's weird because it references the earlier thing, but
we'll
like,
spend an hour after the podcast talking about that one scene with Jacob and Man in Black because there's a lot to talk about.
it is a lot to take in, and yeah, now we're moving on to Kate like stealing things.
Yeah. Ugh.
So Born to Run. What are you gonna do,
Still,
Kate? Run?
she should have just walked out with the lunchbox like it was just hers. It's a lunchbox. You're allowed to have a lunchbox.
That's true. That's true. No, I'm not.
I mean, you found them anyway. I'm born to run.
I put my lunchbox in my bag. What do you want?
I'm always getting other boys in trouble with my stealing. It's just that I got it from home.
Yeah. It's a bad excuse.
This is why she never liked Locke. He reminded her of this guy.
Wow.
Oh, this is so weird. What? I said this before and I'll say it again. Lost would be a much better book.
I agree.
Because this character is super interesting. Just not what happens on screen with him.
Right.
So he's intervening.
Yeah. But he doesn't do that. That was a boop.
There was he booped her.
He just did a boop.
Did he invent booping?
Oh my god. I forgot there was a boop involved.
Because he's has to touch them, remember?
Right. That was the magic touch.
Yeah.
A boop brought her to the island.
Yeah.
Wow.
A boop and an oop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I gotta file things away. This is too much shit happening.
It's way too. I might have to start
can't keep
taking
going.
notes.
Fuck.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. All right. So we're on the sub. They're leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Kate got arrested and put on here after they requested to leave after giving the information. Right. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Just gotta make sure I'm on the right track here. Hard pass.
So this is Juliet. Yeah, I was happy with Juliet.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to leave to be
Yeah.
together. Yeah, see, this should be telling Juliet
100%.
he's totally over her. He
Yeah.
barely wants to look at her.
Yeah. You know, he clearly means it. It's very sincere.
Mm-hmm.
It's not played like he's conflicted.
Oh, this is why Saeed's here.
Yep. And this like simplifies what they have to do because this thing
Yep.
is huge.
It's great writing. I mean, to like be able to have a nuclear bomb this big, but when you actually need it, it has a smaller piece you can take.
Exactly.
Can you imagine them pushing that thing to the Swan state?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 4 weeks later. Is that the radiation that caused the women to not be fertile?
I think they do insinuate that at some point. It might have been in some of the extra stuff in one of the like DVD sets
Yeah.
or Blu-ray sets, I should say.
Yeah, you should. Adventure
All
music.
right. Let's get this over with.
Man in Black.
Oh man. Oh, I want it to be true.
Because all they have to do at the end of this episode is find Rosinski's body somewhere, right? You
Right.
know, and like, I know he dies in the Swan Station with Calvin, all that, blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah. Yeah, of course. Bullshit.
My way's better.
It is.
So this is where Norma Rosinski would say you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, manipulating it into doing what?
Oh boy. Here we go.
Well, that's an excuse to do anything you ever want to do.
I mean, yeah, it's just
Yeah, Rosinski was really concerned when a hostile might have seen the plans
Yeah.
for the Swan, and he's about to do this complicated drilling thing, and he's like, "We're in the middle of insurrection." He's like, "I'm not stopping for nothing."
yeah.
It's crazy. Okay, so now we have
It's
this
ridiculous. It's
cutting to this
contrived.
part.
He just has to push because that's
Yeah.
his job.
Because it's the finale.
These are our losties now.
They're totally our losties. Yeah, and I guess we're supposed to sort of care about the others. They're never really introduced in a way. Because right, they could
No.
have Cindy in this group. That could help
Yeah.
us ground them.
Yeah, she ends up being at the temple, I think.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Wait, new man in charge versus follow the leader. Now I'm confused. This is like the third truth Ben has ever told in his life, I
Like, what are you gonna do with that, son?
think. Exactly.
I was following someone I've never met.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now we're gonna get a confrontation. Mm-hmm. Fucking shit. This should be a huge trigger.
Yeah.
When have you seen dead people
Yeah.
on the fucking island before? Come on, Richard.
He's like right there.
But yes, you
Yeah,
fucking have.
No. He's right. He hasn't seen that. What he's
Okay.
seen is someone
Fair enough.
impersonating dead people.
Fair enough.
But
But
he should think.
you have a context for this. Oh boy. Here it is. Yeah, so there's the closest we get to an insinuation that the Man in Black wants to kill the Jared
Yeah.
passengers.
Yeah. So okay, so that was a great scene. I don't know why Richard is just not thinking clearly.
So close. He's so,
So
close
close.
to having a
Yeah.
huge revelation. And he's just like,
Yeah.
well, okay.
Yeah.
God, Frank.
And I
just
hated that.
knocked out.
I hated that line. Well, if anyone should have an answer, it should be you, Richard. It's like,
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah,
Richard knows nothing.
he really doesn't. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, not the C word.
There's the C word. The first time we get the C word.
Wow, candidate for what?
I love it. He's totally listening.
Yeah. So, like, 1 second.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great comedy.
Yeah, it's like
So
what
we
isn't
don't
this
know
thing?
what's in there.
Exactly.
That's what I was gonna say. Uh-oh. What's in the box?
What's in the box? Oh, they're gonna show him, and we just
Uh-huh.
won't know. Yeah. Yeah, Frank gets to see.
Like, I wonder why did like why? I'm assuming in the original podcast we didn't guess this was Lock in the Coffin. So
No.
why didn't we?
I totally agree. And I need to go back and listen. I know I've been promising that for a few podcasts now, but god damn it, I'm going to do it because especially on these where it's
Yeah,
like, what the fuck were we thinking? Like
yeah.
it seems like the
Like
answer is like
literally
blindingly obvious.
2 scenes ago, Man in Black says, "One of these days, I'm gonna find a loophole and kill you."
100%.
And
Yeah,
then, and
yeah.
you're cutting between that, and we should have been like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
his loophole."
This is the loophole.
Yeah,
Like
that's how
fucking
TV
A.
works.
We already know about the Christian thing. We already know about the
Yep,
Yemi thing. Here
yep,
it is.
yep.
It's so clear.
It's yeah. I
I
have to find out what we were thinking.
Yeah, I don't know how we got so off track with that.
Yeah, it seems really obvious.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That
You
first
know
scene,
what it is, but you know what it is. I mean, the reason we were so off track is because we wanted to believe, and this is what it plays off of. We want to believe it is really Locke, fully
that's
realized,
true.
in
That's
line
the
with the
fucked up
plan.
thing.
He's gonna give
Yeah,
us everything we want to know about the island. You
right.
know, we'll live through him vicariously, and I think that's the misdirection. Really, is the
Yeah,
hope
you're
that he's
right.
who we, and not that he's our greatest hero, not that he's the greatest villain. You know.
Yeah, yeah, we wanted to believe.
Yep, that was your first mistake.
It really was.
Oh
Here's
no.
this thing.
Yep.
This is a weird one. It's weird, like he tells Kate not to steal, but in this case, he gives him the pen to write the letter. Like that's part of his big grudge and that whole like.
I think he's trying to make him let go of it, right?
Oh, he's trying to. Oh, the letter's supposed to help him let go.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
I love
he
that.
doesn't let go. He holds it on to it forever.
Right. So it's really his fault, not Jacob's. That's what we're
It,
supposed to believe.
yeah. Cuz he's got to be broken when he comes to the island.
Right.
It's almost like this should have been Jacob's lines.
I agree. It's weird. It's weird they bring rando guy in to like say the Jacob lines.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it
don't.
means more cuz he's, you know, his dad or whoever this guy's supposed to be, somebody
Right,
young.
right.
Promise me you're not going to finish it. Is that what he
Yeah,
said?
that's what he said.
This is so weird. This is like counterintuitive to me because writing the letter is how you let go. Not
Yeah,
writing it is how you keep on to it forever inside.
right. Oh boy. Oh no, don't start with let me get this straight.
I know. Let's recap. So, what's the plan for this episode? Okay, this is it.
Yeah.
I heard that part.
Oh, it's Boston Phil or whatever.
Yeah,
And of
Mitch.
course,
That's what. The second one, Galaga.
oh, it's the Galaga.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This is like the sub. This is the one Locke blows up,
There's only ever one.
of course. Yeah, it's
It's,
not. It's not
it's
Nick.
got the sub on the fucking Dharma logo.
Of course.
That's funny. I guess I can. It's Horace. Tell him whatever you want. He doesn't care.
Or that.
He's not even in charge.
I know. Horace is fine. Like, why are you so scared of Horace?
He's not gonna call you.
Yeah, so there we go. Turn the sub
Mhm.
around.
Mhm.
That's how they get back.
Where'd he get those gloves?
Yeah, I love it. It's like oven gloves or something.
They're exactly oven gloves.
It's gotta
Where's all these
sledge it out of
tools
there.
coming from?
I don't know. It's weird. Were they just down there?
Got the flux capacitor out.
Uh-oh. Who?
Yikes. Oh, this is interesting. What?
Yeah. It's bad. It's bad advice. So bad.
Huh?
Like Jack is in such a weird place that he
Because
would
like
say
I
that.
thought he was gonna say John Locke's dead. He couldn't have been this person you're
He
talking
could
about.
have said that. He could have.
Yikes. And Jack doesn't know how Locke could have visited him 20 years ago either.
True.
So that should have been strange. Hmm. That doesn't sound like
Who?
Alex.
Who did that? Wow, that is crazy.
Oh, this is weird. Did he not already think of this? Or is he just playing the game so smoothly?
I feel like he's trying to play the game. It's really like he's trying to play it off like he had no idea.
Yeah, it's like playing chess against yourself. Like he's gotta like oh.
There it is. That was the turning
Yeah.
point.
Yep. Cause see if he came back and he was like, first things first, I need you to kill Jacob, that's weird. But
Right.
if he's like, no, I'm gonna kill Jacob. No, 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 no. Now I'll make you do it.
Yeah.
Like it's somehow more reasonable and less
Yeah.
suspicious.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah,
oh.
it's weird. It's like you're going to do anything I say? Like, okay. Oh no, not this.
I know.
Fuck. All
Every
right.
time I see
So,
this scene, I always want to look around to see where Widmore's guys are.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, this is a weird one. This is a weird
Yeah.
one to have Jacob show up.
So this is weird too because he takes Nadia away from him,
Yeah.
or maybe he
Yeah,
saves him.
it's like he breaks Saeed so he can be broken and be brought back.
Yeah.
It's like Saeed would have been doing like a
Oh,
lot
that's right.
better
So
if this didn't
this is
happen.
during the Oceanic Six time.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
before Hitman Saeed. This is like the
Okay,
early
that's right.
Oceanic 6
So this
days.
isn't before he comes to the island. This is after he's left the island. So this
Yeah,
is a different case than the other two.
exactly. Yeah, it's the first one like that. And that's why I feel like this is kind of fucked up because it's like this is like hardcore intervening to the extent that actually like he wouldn't have needed to come back or even had any sort of
It
connection
should have
to.
been a scene when Saeed was a kid, like everybody else.
Yeah, yeah,
It's sort of telling a different story by making it at that point. Huh.
definitely. Yeah, it's just I feel like it's not fair like what happens to Saeed. Like he
That's sad.
loses his agency in the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like shit happens to him and he gets to react to it, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, "Oh yeah, Saeed, sorry, you're evil." It's great.
In a way, in a very, very macro way, that kind of makes sense that he starts out as this very proactive character, and he, as a
Right.
arc, he has to lose agency in a way.
Right.
But the problem is, he it doesn't learn anything from it, and it's not
No.
interesting to watch.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. They
Because
didn't
it's
go
kind of like
anywhere
Jack,
with
right? I mean, Jack is the
it.
same way, where he starts out
Definitely.
as this very proactive character. Now he's just going along with the flow
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah, you're right.
But like, yeah,
But
what they did
Jack
with
gets something
Saeed,
out of it,
yeah.
and Saeed is just like
Hmm.
wasted.
Oh, I remember that.
Good old Bonk.
Bonk, you guys go. We're exiting the plot.
Yeah, yeah. Later.
See you in the future, bitches. Um,
God, they really could have had such a crazy conversation about the future.
yeah.
Like it really could have been so much more complicated if
Hmm.
they brought up any of the shit that happened when they came back, like right
Yep.
before they came back. Because
Yep.
that pertains to Richard present like so strongly. And he
Imagine
could have
if
remembered that.
Imagine if Jack told Richard, "Hey, if this doesn't work, one day there's going to be a boy named Walt. Don't take him."
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's perfect example. And it's just like, nah.
Or whatever you do, don't let a man named Benjamin Linus be your leader.
Yeah. My name is
Man,
Horace.
we're gonna get the most comical scene ever shortly, right? When they come out of the door and get shot, isn't it this scene?
Yep, it is. It is. Phil's gonna see him.
It's like a massacre.
Or I think actually it's Roger Linus that sees him, that shoots
Yeah.
Saeed. And there's the reason he has to like come back evil or whatever happens with
Mm-hmm.
the tainted water. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, you don't understand. I shot your kid, but not for the reason you think.
Oh, jeez.
Your kid's really fucked up and it's partially your fault.
Yeah, look at Terminator Jack. What's he doing?
Yep. This is just how it goes in a
But
season finale.
is it this all happening for a reason, Jack? I mean, like, just let Saeed
No,
die. I
he's
mean,
got to shoot back. Kill or be killed. That's what fate says. Uh-oh. Get on the bus.
get on the bus.
I think he's gonna drive.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, it wasn't that scene, huh? The scene I was thinking about.
Oh,
When does that
let's
happen?
see what you're thinking about. Well, I guess we'll
Remember
find
that
out.
one where like it's like the Dharma guys coming out of the building one by one and
Oh,
they get
that's already
shot?
happened, I think.
Oh, that was earlier.
I don't
Okay.
even think that was Dharma. I think that was like Rando Losties in the season 4 when they split up and there's like Locke's group in the thing and Kimi comes. I think it's
Ah, that's
Kimi
what
that
it
mows him
was.
down.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, the barracks got me.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot
Okay,
of barracks
so they
action.
swim back.
Here they are. Okay, so I guess they got a boat
Yeah.
or raft or whatever you want to call that. And
Mm-hmm.
I always got your back, Kate.
Because Sawyer's got your front.
Oh my God, it's Vincent.
What? Looks completely different.
Wow. Yeah, Vincent's different every time. There's about 8 dogs that play Vincent. Huh?
3 years ago. But he's in the past, though. Is he in the
Yeah,
past?
3 years in the
He
past.
he time traveled with
He
they
time
all.
traveled.
Wow.
Yep, time traveling dog along with them.
Wow, this was great. I remember this. We've been hiding out in this part of the island.
You know, I remember getting so annoyed about how they react,
Yeah.
and actually, in retrospect,
Mhm.
totally fine.
I love it. It's so brilliant. It's
They're
great. It
actually
makes
right.
sense. They're completely right. It makes sense for their age. It
It
makes sense for
does.
everything.
It does.
Like
I'm on board.
it's
They
either
won me
that,
over.
it's either this life right here or the life they have, right? Which
Yeah,
two lives do you want? Because this is what Jack does to people. I'm blaming
exactly.
Jack.
Yeah. Yeah. Jack is like just the agent of chaos.
Yeah.
You don't want to get near him.
And Jin never found you because
Oops. There's the Jin. Why didn't the Jin find you?
Oh, that's right. They were hiding from him. We get ABC. We're retired. We on that
Not a
pension
part of your
plan.
bullshit anymore.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, no, I actually buy it.
Jack has a bomb. Who
Who
cares?
cares? It's always something with you people.
Yeah, it is weird. It makes a TV show seem completely ridiculous. It's like when you're a kid or something, you're playing video games and you're explaining to your
Hmm.
parents, and you're just like, "Yeah, this is
Yeah.
dumb." And you're like, "Oh yeah, this doesn't matter." Juliet's like, oh, here we
There it
go.
is. There it is. That was the look.
That was the
That was the motherfucking
look.
look.
That was it.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Thanks to that,
Wow.
we get the bomb.
Oh, and this was great too.
Yeah.
Because somehow
They
they're
pick up
like,
on it.
yeah,
It's
I don't
weird.
know why. Maybe because the writers wrote this. Um,
Yeah, that's part of it.
hmm
I just think because it comes to nothing, I can appreciate the attitude more. Of
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
agree.
whatever. Fuck
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
And now they can't talk about it because we can't know yet.
Yep.
You show me what's in it. What are we gonna do with it? The it thing that's in there.
I'm Bram. I remember that being crazy.
Yeah. Not this
Like
time.
this idea of a group of people who know what they're up against and they're ready for battle and they're the
Yeah.
good guys. Like that's crazy. And then this.
And then we get this. Yeah, this is what I was waiting for all season. Yes, we get to see the
Wow.
cabin. Finally, answers.
Look at
Look,
the
Ash!
ash. What does
Ash is
that
broken.
mean?
What does it
What
mean?
does
Look,
that
look,
mean?
the ash circle's broken. It's a huge reveal.
It's huge.
And the fact that they came here, it
Hmm
means something.
Yep. They knew
Like,
to come here. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And we get freaking a lot of flashback. This is crazy.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I think this, to your point, this helps sell the character. If you give him a flashback, it inherently gives us more reason to care
Yep.
because we have a context for where they're coming from.
hmm
I don't know how she got here,
Nope.
but never mind that.
Hi, I'm your dad. I also need something from you.
I do speak English. It's pretty good. Okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm. And you're healed.
Yeah, after that, it's the instant healing. I think we see that in season 6, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think they cut back to that scene.
This is
Okay,
crazy.
mystery cabin. Where's those like jars of fluid and
Mm-hmm.
dog painting and where's
Yeah,
my
it's like,
shit?
yeah, it's not the same cabin.
It does look totally different. There's the dog painting.
And it's on the ground for no
Yeah, it's
reason.
been like ransacked. Like
Did
what
it
happened? It's like
fall?
Kimi came here or
But
something.
is this
Like what's going
but
on?
was it yeah, I don't know.
And then we get
And
this.
then this I still don't get it. It's like Jacob did this, but he was never here
Right.
also.
That's the problem. That's why it's confusing. There it is.
Which seems to suggest he had been there at one point,
Yep.
which should
Yep.
never have been true.
And it seems like she expected him to potentially be there.
Yep. She
And
didn't
so it
get the
was news
update.
to them that like, oh shit, Ash is broken. There's a
Yeah.
note.
Even though they know what lies in the shadow of the statue.
Right. Right.
So
And
it
like in the rest of the show, there's every indication that's the only place he's ever been.
yep.
Well, that was it for the cabin.
And it's still
R.I.P.
and here's the thing. If Jacob wanted the cabin destroyed, why didn't he just burn it himself?
Yeah, totally
And they
agree.
come there and it's burnt down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's super weird. And it didn't and she didn't even justify why it had to be burnt.
Nope. Nope. No, it made it seem like there's something like magical about like why do you have to burn it? Who
Yeah.
cares if who cares if Man in Black is going in that
Like
cabin? What does
it's
it
some
matter?
or like it's some portal
Yeah.
between worlds and or something and they have to, oh geez, not this scene.
Yeah, and then we get this. This is
I mean,
like so
isn't
you
that
know
the
something's gonna happen.
ugh. Isn't that the strangest irony that Locke wanted to be special his whole life and then this happened, but he never knew it?
Yeah. Right.
But
Right.
then when he gets to the island and he can walk, he thinks that makes him special, but he never finds it out.
Right. Right. And after his death, he never cares again. So he never finds out that all this shit happened.
Yeah.
Like that crazy guy that was there right after you fell out the window.
Yeah. That would have made his life all worth it.
Yeah,
I couldn't let that happen.
of course not. Huh?
What? I'm in shock. I won't remember this.
I just broke my spine. I can't listen to you.
Blue tarps in the wind.
Oh man.
So this is
Definitely
what the
like
original
going
camp now?
back to the old
This is
shit.
our old camp. Yep. Burn it down.
Burn it. Someone else has been using this.
What
He's
does
not
that
gonna have
mean?
shit planned for them. That's so ridiculous. They're just gonna be like, huh? And then like he's gonna try to kill them all.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That's the big plan.
Ouch.
Oh,
Katie's
no
got
alone time for
claws.
you.
Yikes.
Ugh.
No, it's a hatch. No, it is a hatch.
Yeah, exactly. That is the hatch.
That's the hatch.
Oh,
Yikes.
this is weird. I can't believe that
This is so
they
weird.
follow up the cabin scene with this, and it's totally corrupted
Yeah.
because Locke is speaking as Locke, and so we can't get a proper conversation here.
Yep. Because Man in Black should know this.
Exactly. He knows everything that's
And
they're
there's his
talking about.
telekinesis, by the way.
Yep. But the cabin's been legitimated, so it's just like
So Man in Black was impersonating Jacob, and then he told Locke, "Help me," because he's eventually going to use Locke for his loophole.
right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Good
Oh,
question.
here's the pitch. Here's the pitch.
This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense for Locke to say that.
I think he's dodging the issue of why do I need you to kill him
Yeah,
by
by
trying to
saying you
reframe
should
it
already want to
as
kill him.
you should
Yeah.
want to kill him. So don't ask me questions
Well,
about that.
why didn't Alex just tell Ben to kill Jacob?
Yeah, I agree. That would have been simpler, but then they would have had to reveal it earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair point. Oh yeah,
Get
this.
revenge for me, Daddy. You know, something.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean that is the context, and they do try to sell that as a big deal later. It doesn't even seem like he cares that much about the cancer.
No,
It
he's
feels like
over
a
that.
throwaway. Yeah, I love that he left that ring and like Claire never noticed and she never finds out.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't matter. Sun gets to know, but she dies, so
Yeah,
oh,
it's
that's the
yeah, that's
transition.
the transition.
That's the only reason they did that. Okay.
I mean, she couldn't she have looked at her own ring?
Yeah, that does seem simpler.
Oh yikes! We will never be apart.
Oh god.
I mean,
Of
like,
course. Of course. Yeah, they have to write it like that.
yeah.
And if we ever are apart,
You
I
have to
will
write
never
that down.
do anything but look for you until we're together again.
Little did they know there was one uninvited guest who wanted to pay his respects.
Yeah. Who's the strange white man?
No one knows who this guy is. Touch, touch.
Yep. There it is. Maybe your father knows him?
His Korean is excellent. Shut up.
Yeah. He's just good at languages for no particular reason.
Yeah, I mean, why?
Maybe it's just the years. Like he spent the thousands of years like learning languages.
But like visiting those places to
That's what he
learn
would
them.
have to do. Yeah.
Going Back to the Future.
God. Come on, Miles. You don't know how this works. Uh-oh.
Why the hell are we
We
stopping?
don't stop here.
Yikes.
There they are.
The A plot, the B plot. Meet
We
in the
just
middle of the
met.
jungle.
Exactly. Yep, they had to get together somehow.
Yeah, we're gonna stop you.
Waboom.
All right, part 2.
Here it
I'm
comes.
assuming.
Yeah, that's the part 2 cut.
What is it? Why are we stopping? It's a tree. Oh,
I love it because it's like it's right there.
yeah,
And you fucking know. You know what that
yeah.
is. Come
He knows
on.
what that is.
I know it's part of the
Yep.
part of the ruse,
Yeah,
but like
he's really good.
uh,
He's so
so
committed.
good I hate him.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh man,
Ugh.
it's tough. It's tough.
Ugh. Little side glance.
I'm sure it'd be great if Man in Black was like, I had to play dumb so hard, but having all of Locke's memories, it was easy.
Oh god. Oh, it hurts. Oh my god.
They don't even know what's happening. Oh wait, Sawyer does.
Yeah. 5 minutes.
Saeed's dying in the back.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that Jack's uniform says Jack and Sawyer's uniform says LaFleur.
Yeah.
That
What are you gonna
doesn't
do?
add up. Like it should say James or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Horace has said Horace.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they mostly say first names, but in his case.
Maybe
'Cause it
he's
was the
in
name of an
charge. He gets
episode.
LaFleur. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Custom made. Oh no, not the
Dural
sack!
sack!
Wow.
That's the worst sack to cut.
Wow. It's such a crazy moment to revisit.
Yeah. Count to 5, Jack.
You know how important that sack is.
How did this show not write that Jack did Locke's surgery? How was that not a plot
They do
point?
it in the Flash Sideways.
Oh, that's how they do it.
Because I feel like that's the most, yeah. I feel like they realized what you're saying. Like, oh shit, we should have done that.
Yep. And she's dead. Should have counted to 4, Jack. 5 is too much. Oh no, not the candy bar.
Here comes the magic vending machine.
Yeah. Apollo
Of course,
bar.
it's an Apollo bar. God. Love all that fake candy.
I know. Did it say Humdinger?
Yeah.
That's a great candy bar name.
Yeah. I love that he hates it. He's
Yeah.
like irritated. It was actually really good advice.
Yep. That he's
How
going
about you
to
just
use
learn
in the
from it,
pilot.
Jack?
He's gonna. That's a line he tells Kate in the pilot. Like
I
it's
know.
important. But this is all about Jack's insecurities.
Of
So
course. Yeah.
what isn't, right?
You did say the thing, so take a little credit, Christian. I mean, maybe not in this scene.
Touch.
Uh-oh, touch, touch.
Jack doesn't even want the candy anymore.
Yeah, fuck this candy bar. I'll never eat candy again.
I like how he's got like a belt of blood on Jack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How did that happen? Saeed, I guess?
Yeah. I'm amped up, dude. Season finale, man.
I can't do it. I got no time to sit here on a log and talk about shit. I love
Is
it. They
this
don't
your my
know
best
shit
friend,
about each
Jack?
other. They've gotten this far.
Yeah. Is this the
He
you're my
did
best
say that.
friend?
He said that way back in season 2, didn't he? Like, you're the
Hmm.
closest thing I have to a friend.
Ah, that's season 2. Wow.
I think it is. I think it's when he shot in the Swan Station. Yeah, see, this is like them attempting to address the strangeness of the
Hmm.
time. It doesn't really matter because he's just telling a story to make a point. He's not
Hmm.
actually gonna like deal with that, but here's the point. Sure about that? What if what's done isn't done?
Yeah, what is it about?
What is it about? Oh boy. I don't speak destiny.
It's like this is all happening for a reason, and the reason is to change it. It's like, huh?
The one I glanced at one time? Yeah. Sawyer's encouraging Jack. Like, this is
This is
so, oh my
so. I
god.
wish Julia would have heard this combo.
Seriously.
I'm confused though that it for Jack it all came down to Kate. I'm really upset
Yep.
about that.
Yep.
That's not what he was playing this whole season.
Yeah, no, that sucks as well.
And then this, of course. But what if it all plays out like this again and you're just as miserable as this time, Jack?
Yep.
I gotta hit you.
So I'm gonna have to punch you in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. You don't get to change everyone's life just because yours is crappy.
Yeah, it is bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
that's something it's not all about you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, listen, Juliet, listen.
I know. They walk too far away. Log time. Oh no, balls time.
Ooh,
There's the log.
there
I
it
knew it was
is.
happening. Some point, if you have a fight in the jungle, you're gonna hit with a log.
Yep. Oh boy, here we
Oh
go.
no.
Here's where it goes wrong.
Now I'm confused. You looked at her.
Yep. What?
So what does Juliet want? She wants Sawyer to be happy with Kate in some alternate
She's
life?
gonna explain it. Yeah, here it
Oh, of
comes.
course.
Here it
This is
comes.
this is it.
If you want your explanation.
If there's any parents listening, please never get divorced because this is what you do to children and they grow up to be inconsistent characters. If there's a bomb involved.
God.
He looked at someone else, dear.
Oh boy. Yeah. She takes away a bullshit lesson from this.
Yeah.
Because this has nothing to do with what's going on.
No. It's almost like it should have been her dad was cheating on her mom and that
Yeah.
precipitated the divorce.
Yeah, this plot's horrible, isn't it, Sawyer?
Right.
I
It's
got your
not a
back.
great line, but
Oh boy.
maybe you get to choose who you're with, bitch. I mean, Juliet. It's all this whole.
Terrible. Terrible. You
Awful.
don't. The only reason
Awful.
you're gonna lose him is because you're gonna die.
You know, there's this
Because of
famous
the stupid
saying
shit.
it's better to have loved and lost than to never loved before, but I guess you haven't heard that one.
Totally disagrees.
Yeah.
Not the Gauss readings.
Degauss it! Look at
Too much
Gauss.
Gauss!
Look, so many Gauss. The Gauss is in the red.
Turn down the Gauss!
Oh, we hit the Gauss pocket.
Oh no.
And I waited an hour to call you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a long time. Where do you think? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you weren't worried about this earlier, by the way.
No, this is the thing you weren't worried about.
You were like, fuck it, we're just gonna do it.
I just want to say how ridiculous this is. Like the hostiles have a bomb when they're coming to the
Yeah.
Swan station, and like
Yeah.
they're gonna blow it up. And they were undercover this whole time.
Yeah. It's
like
ridiculous.
yikes.
And that's what they believe forever.
Yeah, that's just what happened.
Until they die.
Until they
It's
die.
so bad.
Until Ben gasses them.
It's so bad. And after all that, he's just like, okay, time to drill. Like, Jesus
Mhm.
Christ. All right, sorry to talk over Jack and Kate here. The real ones that actually have like a thing here,
Yeah.
like not
Did
fucking
she-
Sawyer.
Did she offer to sew him up like so many drapes?
Yes, of course. They referenced that scene. Classic. Oh, whoa. Here it is.
Because I can't mention Claire until season 6. That's not why.
I didn't make you come back. Grandmother. But okay. That wasn't the idea. Yeah, yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, crashing on the island made her wanna have the baby, and you're just gonna take that away, just like you're taking away all of these people's lives since
Mm-hmm.
then, and that's bullshit. You don't get to decide.
He does though. He's Jack fucking Shepherd.
And that's just a shitty argument. Well, it's her
Yeah.
choice. I mean, fuck you. It's your
Mm-hmm.
choice. But they just have to get them all on the same page, and it's terrible. I've always been with you. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like deranged.
Everybody has to get on board though, and it makes them look crazy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. This is a long time ago.
Not that long ago.
Wasn't
Maybe
it like a
2
long? This
weeks?
is season 4.
Yeah, but this is like 2 weeks ago in
It's
terms of the
still
present.
years ago.
Because the timeline is really compressed in the later part of the show. I think season 5 and 6 are like 2 weeks. Oh god. I don't know who, and I don't know what they're doing. Oh, Hurley just trusts this crazy man.
Yeah. There's no Dennis on the island. My brother was in jail.
Here it comes. So Hurley's the only one he really reveals himself to.
Because of people like you.
You're kind of the problem.
So Hurley had Ghost telling him not to go back, right?
No, the ghosts were telling him he should go back.
He should go back. Okay.
Yeah, they agreed.
Okay, he missed the point.
Yep. How do you know?
Nice to meet you. I'm just up here at the corner. I just touched you, so now you don't have a choice. But
Yeah, I know. It's great. It's your choice
yeah.
to.
So maybe the idea is the people he touched are the ones who vanish from the plane. And that's the secret.
Well, he touched his son.
But she vanished from the plane.
And Saeed. Oh, Saeed did vanish. Sorry. Who else did vanish? Were there any other? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, son's the exception.
Well, she had a wedding dress on, so he didn't get skin to skin contact.
Good point. Good point.
That's the only thing I can think matters why he's touching them.
Right. They say more about the touching in season 6.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, it doesn't help, but they say more. Oh God.
Yikes!
He's like already
He's already there.
on that zombie path.
Yeah.
Like, not for me. Come here, Lennon. I have a surprise for your throat.
What?
You know, he cuts Lennon's throat
Oh, okay.
after he tells him that bullshit about the ash or killing Dogen or whatever.
Uh huh.
You just killed the only thing keeping him out.
So now we're gonna help you.
God, that blood belt.
Yeah.
Yep, they're all good now. It's all good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sawyer's just like, okay,
Yeah.
everybody else is on board, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm going along.
See you in Los Angeles. Famous last words.
Yep. Yep. They're setting us up. It's
Yeah.
bullshit. It's such bullshit.
Wow. Like, why do they have to make camp out here?
They really don't. Jacob's right in there. You can
Does
just
he
walk
not hear this
in.
ruckus?
I know.
He's all around us. Jacob is just an idea.
Ben is so useless.
I love this.
Oh, this is great.
It's like reverse Boy Who Cried Wolf. It's like
Yep.
you lie all the time, so I
Yep.
won't believe this truth you're telling me.
I know. I know. And it's sad the way he's like, not really. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even care to like make this interesting.
It's the only two things he ever told me. Hmm.
Yeah, Richard is just so useless here.
Yeah.
He's like the Horace of the others.
That's the most accurate thing ever.
Just like stand aside and let the plot go because you're not going to do anything
Nope.
of value.
He's not empowered to do anything. The one thing he could do is recognize
Yep,
who this person is, and he can't even do that.
exactly. He has the knowledge, but
Yep.
how does that door open? I don't get it. Is Jacob
I
trapped
guess it's
in
supposed to
there?
slide at some point.
But can he pull it from the inside?
Good question.
Like, how does that
Yeah,
because it
it's
seems
pretty
like
heavy too. There
could
must be every good, living quarters on the island has a second entrance.
good
So
point. There's like an easy one.
there's an easy
We don't
way.
have to do that bullshit. Oh, this is Ben's big moment. Here we go.
This is crazy. I should kill him because some bad things happened to me, and
Mm-hmm.
he didn't talk to me ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. And I just want to note for later what he's going to emphasize in his speech because I feel
Okay.
like they wrote this wrong. I know it's not happening right now because that's a later, but it's weird how they frame the scene given like what really should be the point, and even if you make the right point, it still doesn't make sense.
That's the best way.
Oh,
Oh, there's no more love.
no more LaFleur. Here it is.
What?
Huh? 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 Shut up, you.
Yeah.
They got nothing.
And they're not gonna stop.
Nope.
It's too late. It doesn't
It
matter.
does
Like,
nothing. I remember thinking, shut up, Miles, but he's totally right.
yep,
100% right.
yep.
He's like Rosa Bernard, just like,
Mm-hmm.
you people are crazy, but I'm just going to stand aside because that's your problem.
Yeah, somebody could have said, well, worst case scenario, everything will just happen like it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, and then they make Phil an asshole.
Of course.
It's like a
Yeah,
set
Phil is
from the.
horrible. Phil is like Radzinski light.
Yep. Yeah. Too much
Still
gauss.
maximum gas. Pour water on it.
So Jack is supposed to do what now?
He's got to like throw the bomb in the hole. That's his plan.
And then it's gonna blow up, and then God,
It's
this is a
supposed to
bad
explode on
plan.
impact. Like that's what Said explains, I think, a
This is
while
a
ago.
bad plan. How do they know it's deep enough? They know nothing.
They know nothing. But that's what they're doing.
God.
All I have is a hose. I can't gunfight with a hose.
Brings a yeah, he brought a hose to a gunfight.
Pew pew. Here we go.
Yeah, it's so much shooting.
It's a lot of
It's a
shooting.
lot of
There's
shooting.
like
Yeah,
a
I was gonna say
nuclear
this.
device here.
It's like a set from like the A Team.
Yeah, it
Like,
so
I
is.
don't
This is an
know.
A-team mission, and
Yeah, I pity the fool who won't put the guns down.
Sawyer's face.
Yeah, yeah. This is such a bad plan.
It's the worst. Drop the bomb in the hole. That's all we gotta do. Turn the
And
thing
like
on.
Chang doesn't even know what he's helping them do.
Nope.
Or does he?
No, he can't have a clue.
Miles, oh, he did ask Miles he's from the future, but they didn't know about this incident thing. Okay.
No. No, they didn't tell him about any of that. Oh my god.
This is so insane.
All right, drop the bomb.
He looked at Kate.
He did. See, that time it means something. She gave
That
him a
means
nod.
something. She
We're
nodded.
good.
Now I'm looking at you now, Juliet. Damn it.
Mm-hmm. Look at this look. It's a big look.
He's so upset.
All right. Well, show's reset now.
Yep. Now we go back to season 1.
Guess we're done. I'm glad none of it mattered. Boom. Wait. Boom. How deep is that hole?
Either not deep enough or too deep.
Yeah, it's the first. Oops. Uh-oh, minimum Gauss.
Wow, suboptimal gouging.
What do we do?
So
Yeah, now they hit the pocket.
now they hit the pocket.
That button does nothing, Pierre.
The
Stop
button is
pushing
the-
it.
It's the do nothing button.
He's just been pushing that button. Like, why do you think it's gonna do something different now that the whole thing's falling
Oh
apart? Oh, that was how he
no.
hurt his hand. That was the like fake hand thing.
That's a fake
I forgot
hand.
about the fake hand
Oh, I
thing.
forgot about the flying toolbox.
Yep. Oh no.
What if they didn't hit the pocket and this is Man in Black's telekinesis?
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. I love that. It's all
Yeah.
manufactured.
So the fact that Man in Black isn't here means that this doesn't matter at all.
Yep, it does. Thank you.
like,
Well done.
like, like the fact that he's not involved in this plot means
Yep.
nothing they do here matters.
Exactly.
Like, I want to cut to him in the sidelines eating popcorn right now.
Yes. 100%. 100%. Like, oh my
Oh,
god, Phil, not you, Phil.
Yeah. And it's this Man in Black like twirling his finger in the air, making all this happen.
Yes. He looked at her, Juliet. Don't forget.
Yep.
I'm never gonna let go, Blondie.
You're useless, Kate.
Yeah. Need someone with longer arms, no offense.
Yeah.
Bring in the long arms. Who's the tallest person there? Maybe it's Sawyer.
Where's Jack?
Is it Jack? Is he taller?
Where is he?
Yeah, where the fuck is Jack?
Oh, now
Is
she's
he
got to
chilling?
sacrifice. That's the thing. She like dies multiple times. She sacrifices multiple times. Like,
It's disappointing that this isn't the end.
yeah.
It's like they don't deserve to do 2 of these scenes.
And it's
just not.
disappointing that like she wasn't in that much danger. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I can still hear you. Hi.
hi, I'm right here. I'm just in the shadow part, but I'm like 20 feet away.
Yeah. It's like the Desmond thing when they push them down the well. Like,
Mhm.
oh no, and it's just like, yeah, hi, I'm just here. It's fine.
Yeah, 10-foot well. I'm not 10 feet tall. Yeah, right.
That's like,
Yeah.
let's get drunk. I got nothing to do.
Yeah.
This is boring.
Oh, this is great.
Here we go. The plot's picking up a little bit.
Yeah.
We're all others here.
Well, yeah, we're all others. We're the other others.
Here we go. Regardless.
I know the magic word.
Oh boy.
So, like, why wouldn't Jacob tell her Richard?
Yeah, it's bizarre. They have Jacob call him that to try to like tie that up, but
Yeah. What was that?
I think it's translated to like "He who will save us all," something like that. But it's Latin, of course, because Jacob's like Roman. Here we go. What's in the box?
All right, let's see.
What's in the box?
I love how they dump it out for everybody.
Yeah, just dump that shit.
Yeah.
Which means they took him out of the coffin, by the way. And they mirrored the coffin shot right here. A what?
Put it together, Richard.
Put it together. It's not that hard. I love that Son's the first person to get this. Yeah, you don't have the context to know,
Mm-mm.
but fucking Richard should know.
He's still confused.
I
Why is
know
he
he
smiling?
hasn't gotten it yet. He should
Do
run
we
in
even
right
know?
now.
Are we supposed to be surprised?
I think we are supposed to be surprised.
So we still don't know Locke is Man in Black for sure.
No, I
We're
think
thinking, oh,
yeah.
now it's some special
They
case.
haven't revisited the opening scene. Like, so I feel like we're supposed to have forgotten about the opening scene and we're like, oh shit, you
It's
know?
some new idea that we haven't thought about
And when
yet.
he says the loophole line, actually, I just had a revelation about the loophole line. Let's see if I can get it out before they interrupt me. I think the deal with the loophole line is to tie together this scene with the opening scene. It's a key word
Yep.
that makes
This
the
is
connection clear because he doesn't look like Titus Welver anymore.
yeah, you're right.
Maybe that loophole doesn't really matter because it was just an artificial construct.
Wait, what?
All right,
Maybe
I'll
what
say
does it
more.
matter?
I'll say more later.
Okay.
All right.
That's what they call the thread.
I love that he already gets it.
Mm-hmm. But we're still confused. Is the loophole him being Locke, or is the loophole
Right.
getting someone else to kill him?
There it is.
Yeah.
That implies so much that we never get
Mm-hmm.
to see. What did you go through?
In that we have.
Yeah, like that's a yes. Richard, they should be running in here right now. It is so
Yeah.
ridiculous that they just let this play out. Choice, choice, choice. It's my key word.
Mm-hmm. It's like Jacob won't even play the game enough to tell him that a game is being played.
Yeah. Here we go.
No, I'm asking to ignore you by you leaving.
So true. Here's the big speech.
Mm-hmm. That Richard just made up by himself? I don't know what happened.
Jacob doesn't comment on that. He's so useless in this scene.
Mm-hmm. All reasonable things. I haven't read that book.
That's not who you think it is. It's not him.
Yeah. I thought
That's
he
a
should have
huge
got
point
that.
here.
I thought he should have got that a little bit.
Yeah, did you hear what we just said to each
Mm-hmm.
other? Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, well, what about this? Yeah, this was a weird angle. I remember like wow. On top of that, he's got to burn him. So there's no
Yeah.
body, so he can't impersonate him. I guess all
It's
that fun
interesting that he
stuff.
can do that, but he can't stab him.
Yeah.
It's like
Or he could have stabbed him and didn't.
Like, what if Ben stabbed him like in the arm or something? Like, could he
Yeah.
then he kick him in the fire? Like, like what if he wasn't gonna die from the stab wounds?
Yeah, he didn't take that chance.
That's why, like, I question the rules.
You should question the rules. They don't exist.
That's a lot
Yeah,
of
I remember
magnet.
thinking like, oh well, if Juliet had survived, now she's dead.
There's no way she'll survive this. But yeah,
Yeah,
actually, it's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's only cool.
She landed just in the right spot somehow.
Yeah. Oh no, look at that.
I mean, maybe she's hurt, but
Hmm.
she would totally survive
Why
this
did the electromagnetism stop?
for no apparent reason.
Oh, good. Because she shouldn't be able to like get up, right? Like
That's the thing, like, the bomb is the incident, so actually, it would have been fine if they didn't let off the bomb. I think we're supposed to believe that.
what?
Like, the bomb is the thing that causes the
Yeah.
incident. And so, like, right now, they wouldn't have to do the button and all that. Like, it seems like it's over.
Well, yeah. It seems like they would have kept drilling if not if the Lossies hadn't intervened. They would have hit
Right,
the
right, right,
pocket
right.
and then it
Yeah.
would have
A
maybe, but
different reason for
a
the
different
incident.
reason. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But this time, and
This
maybe
is
every time,
horrible.
it's this.
Wow.
Oh boy. Go into White Lost
Wow.
for the first time and only
Wow.
time.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Wait a year to figure out how that plot ends, huh?
yeah, it's going to be so good when we find out that nothing changed or happened.
Well, that was the
Um,
point.
that was the
Nothing,
point.
nothing changed.
Whatever
Except
happened
everything.
happened.
Whatever
You're
happened.
welcome.
All right. Well, aside from the bad plot, like it was a pretty good finale. I mean,
I agree. It's definitely like way more entertaining than the last like 5 or 6 episodes.
yep, yep.
I do think the on island plot like picks up in a big way when they can finally like pull off the masks and unscooby Doo the whole thing and just be like,
Hmm.
okay, like here's who the characters are, here's what they're doing,
Yep.
here's why. I mean, they don't give us all the answers, but they give us enough to like at least like care or have some idea what's going on.
Hmm.
Um, so that was a huge shift in the show, and I think the Dharma stuff is like it's like whatever, but there's a lot of action, a lot of drama,
So much pistol shooting.
a lot of pistol shooting, a lot of Gauss,
Uh, Gassing it up, Gauss
more
style.
Gauss per minute than I've ever
More Gauss
seen.
per ounce. Um, yeah, there's a lot of. Oh man. So Jacob and Man in Black introduction here.
Yeah,
Um,
big moment, big
Big
moment.
moment, lots of interesting stuff. I think on paper the characters are really interesting. I think the concept of these two people being locked in this battle, this philosophical question about the missing
Yeah,
humanity
it's
is
when they change
interesting.
it that it starts to get shitty. I think this
Yeah.
was an okay start to the story. It
Yeah,
seems
it
interesting.
starts off good. It's a little weird to be like to bookmark it with like, hey, we're new people. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna find a loophole, and then the end be, got my loophole, and like, but there's obviously a lot of story between those two people in
Right.
those two bookends. But yeah, and the whole thing of like introducing Jacob and then killing him in the same episode. The whole thing with like Jacob. I mean, there's just so much mythology here.
Tons.
Him touching people throughout different periods of time, um, bringing them to the island. He's got this idea of choice that he
Yeah.
mentions.
Yeah.
Um, but
On
yeah,
a
and then
smaller level, like the guitar case.
yeah, oh yeah, the guitar kit.
We
Yeah,
didn't
he didn't
know until
even.
now where that came from.
Well, we didn't even. He didn't even say like, "Take this guitar case with you because it
Nope.
means something." It was just in the car with him.
And he says it's not my guitar. That
Yeah.
was
Oh,
his
that's right. He
line.
does say it's not my guitar. Here it is. So.
That's the whole thing. And Hurley just takes it upon himself to take it. And
Yeah,
he's right to do it, but
and
yeah,
that's
Jacob's
why
not
he's
that
the
helpful.
candidate. He's the leader of the island.
There it is.
Um. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. What a weird episode. Yeah. It's just kind of all over the place.
It
It's
is.
really it's amazing they were able to make anything coherent.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they tried to thread it together and it's yeah, it sort of works.
They did have
It's
that line about thread I thought was telling, like
yeah,
the writers speaking, like it takes a long
definitely.
time that thread or whatever he says. Takes about
Yeah.
5 years to kind of get
Mhm.
to this point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. That's very meta kind of moment.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I have some like specific things to say about that last scene. So the first thing I was just gonna say about so what I was trying to say about the loophole line that
Hmm.
I think I didn't realize before is that like partially it's just functional because like we need a keyword to clearly convey that the Locke character that we're seeing is the guy from the first scene.
Hmm.
And one day I'm gonna find my loophole. I see you found your loophole. It totally does that with a like key phrase that
Hmm.
we don't have to see Titus Welliver to know it's that guy, you know. So I think I didn't appreciate before that partially it's a writer's function to
Hmm.
have this idea of a loophole, and so I was just thinking like maybe that's why the actual like what is the loophole never really mattered to the writers
Well,
apparently.
yeah, and because it all got summed up with, and you don't know how much I've done to get here. Like that just
Yeah,
sums up whatever you want the loophole to be, and whatever he had to do it. And I agree, and I think it also the loophole comment also helps clarify like why he wants to kill him. This and
right.
what this scene's about. Like, oh, okay,
Yes.
you're here. You're not just here to kill me because of like something to do with Locke or something to do with Ben. Like, this is
Right.
something from your original motivation.
Right. So yeah, to go back to the early the line like right after that. So Ben hears this exchange. The first exchange between Locke and Jacob is, "Hello, Jacob. Jacob, well, you found your loophole. Locke, indeed I did, and you have no idea what I've gone through to be here." Like, okay, hold on, Ben. Before you do anything else, what the fuck is going on? This is weird as shit. There's no reason why Locke should be having this conversation with Jacob.
Yep.
That means there's either some secrets about Locke that you don't know, not true, or
Mm-hmm.
this isn't the Locke you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if this isn't the Locke you think it is, fast forward to Ben's big speech. And what does he say? What does he emphasize? Does he talk about getting cancer? No. Does he talk about Alex being killed in front of him? No. What does he talk about? I lived in the silent. I heard your name. Richard brought me instructions, and I did what I was told. And I was never allowed to see you. But Locke gets taken up here like Moses. Why him? What's wrong with me? What about
Mm-hmm.
me? His main point that he fixates on is why Locke. It's not even fucking Locke,
Well,
and you just got a clue about
it's
that.
even worse because his motivation to kill Jacob 2 scenes previous was that Jacob put you through hell and made you lose things, and he
Right,
didn't have he didn't even meet you.
right.
So they kind of try to push it one step further, but I really think it should have stayed on that. Like, I lost Alex because of you.
Yeah,
I was ostracized from my people because of you. I did this thing because of
yeah.
you. And I mean, you can still. I think he should have just connected it. Like, I think it still needs to go back to, and you never did anything for me. What about me? What do I get out of this? Or something like that. I think they still could have gotten there, but it's weird to start the scene with "I'm jealous of Locke," and
Yeah,
it's like, but you
I think
weren't
that's the
before.
problem.
Like, yeah.
Like I just don't like that they chose to, because he goes back to that later, right? Like later on, it's like, no, the reason I did it was like Alex, like mainly.
Hmm.
Like that was the big thing. But here he doesn't even mention, Alex doesn't even rate a mention. And that's weird. And I think they should have written it differently, because not only is it a better reason to do it, it should tie together better, but also there's evidence like right in front of him to like counteract the whole reason that he's giving right now. Like
Hmm.
he's talking about Locke being preferred. It's not Locke. The whole thing was bullshit
Yeah, it
set up
almost
by
seems
him.
like you could have that same speech that Ben gives about Locke being walked up there like royalty, and then Ben attacks Locke.
Yes.
Like it's weird. Yeah, yeah,
I don't think they wrote that right.
yeah. There's something that just doesn't feel right about that because okay, so all the motivations that Ben has, right? The main one was Alex saying you do whatever Locke says, right? So first of
Right.
all, it's problematic because Ben has no idea what Alex is. He has
Right.
no context for if that even makes any sense that he would see his daughter and that his daughter would threaten him with
It's too
damnation.
much. It's too much
It's like,
because
yeah,
on top of that, he just had an encounter with a smoke monster.
hmm
And he could, I mean, it's logical to at least
he
assume that there's
stopped
at least
thinking.
some connection there. And now he's got Locke saying, "Hey, I'm back from the dead."
Yeah, I
And
think
then he
he
has this
stopped
weird
thinking.
conversation with yes.
He stopped. Yeah, it's like Game of Thrones, where the smart character stops thinking the last season.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Because they
like
have to push the plot in a certain
yeah,
way
yeah, and it's
efficiently.
like they're so downtrodden that they stop thinking and putting two and two together like they normally would. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's the first
Richard
part.
doesn't have that excuse, by the way, but
No, he was so close. It's like it reminds me like a dog, when a dog sees something weird and turns its head and like it's so close to figuring something out, and it's like,
right.
oh, you can get it. Because yeah, he's
Yeah.
right on the precipice of like putting it all together. Um but like, yeah, but doesn't, because doesn't he not even get it like ever
No.
until like Man in Black just comes out and says I'm him or whatever, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, he still
That's what
doesn't put it
happens.
together. It's like they forgot, like they hadn't ridden across the sea yet or something,
Yeah.
so they didn't know 100% what Richard's context should be.
Exactly.
So it doesn't play like he remembers that time where
Mhm.
where this happened.
That's the
Uh,
problem. I mean, that's why like Abaturno is irritating,
oh, that's
because
what I meant, Abaturno.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think everyone knew. Anyway, it's like you have to look back at what you did with the character, and especially you have to look back at what you did with the character pertaining to Jacob and the Man in Black. And if you have him behaving in this way, you can't just have him like casually seeing that, oh, the Man in Black, he knows the following facts. the the Man in Black is an NC on the island who can appear as a smoke monster and
Mhm,
who wants to kill Jacob and who can take the form of dead people.
mhm,
He knows all those things. And then he encounters Locke coming back saying, "Oh, yeah, I was dead and now I'm alive again. Woo,
mhm,
take me to
mhm,
Jacob. What do you
mhm,
say?" And Ben's going to come with me. And yeah, it's all good. Just do what I say because I'm the leader.
mhm. Well, he had one scene where he's like, "I wanna thank him for giving me life
Oh,
again," and
God.
it's like every other scene, the characters are changing their motivations and reasons why they're professing to wanna be doing things. It's super
Right.
weird.
Yeah, yeah, it's all over the place. And yeah, the others are no help. I love it. They have this big reveal. They dump Locke's body in front of him, and then they just stand there and let this whole thing happen. They should run in there
It's almost like
immediately.
they can't get in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
why
way
not?
the way time is playing between different scenes is weird in this episode.
Yeah, maybe we're supposed to believe like I don't know though. They were not. They walked in like how long?
Maybe the scenes are out of order. You know, like the Lana scene is supposed to happen right when maybe
When
Ben
Jacob's
is
being
killing.
killed.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I mean,
So
they do run in there in season 6, I remember, but it just
yeah.
seems to me like the reaction time is a little slow.
Hmm.
Like,
Well, and that's the thing, you know, they don't know what's possible on the island, so they don't know what's not really locked. Now, of course, Richard should put two and two together, but like the rest,
yeah,
everybody else, they have no context for what's possible, you know, or what they should expect and not expect. And you
yeah,
know, just like us, I think that, you know, the audience falls into that thing too of like, I don't know, that Locke can't come back, like somehow, like you
right.
know, it begs the question, where did he come from? if if he's sitting there, you know, as a corpse, then you know, where did the other person come from?
Yeah,
Even if it, you know, whether it's Locke or not.
yeah.
But yeah, that whole thing was weird. The burning of the cabin is weird.
Oh, the cabin. Oh, the fucking cabin. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing I was gonna say. So I know this is like again, like I said, the deadest of horses, but I just had to throw in because this is the episode where they burn the cabin and
Hmm.
Ben and the man in black have a conversation about the cabin. Of course, they don't have it in the open, which is annoying. Like Ben
Hmm.
hasn't realized what happened yet, and so like he thinks he's
Hmm.
talking to Locke, and of course, Man in Black has to act like he's Locke, so he can't say that he knows any more than Locke knows.
Hmm.
So super irritating. But I was just gonna say, uh, uh, I feel like something that's really missing from all this that really played into Ben's thing, and they try to write around it, and they want us to like forget it. I think completely because they didn't even address it again in season 4, let alone now. So like, okay, but help me.
Hmm. Oh
That help
yeah.
that's a huge thing that it
Hmm.
never followed up on. I guess it's supposed to be the Man in Black, but he doesn't even take credit for it. Nobody does. They
Hmm.
never talk about it again. And to me, that's just kind of a gaping hole in the whole thing because, it's a thing. Like Ben shoots Locke, and like, what did Jacob say to you? He said, "Help me." Well, I hope he helps you now. Like it's a whole. It's
Yeah, I mean, so you know, psychology wise, for Man in Black, it plays like he's trying to create a rift between the two, you know, between Locke and Ben, and he knows this is going to make Ben jealous, and this
yeah,
is going to make Ben try to kill Locke, and he needs
yep.
Locke dead in order for the loophole. Um, I guess.
But they have a whole conversation about it and they don't even mention it. And to me, that's weird. You know,
Oh,
like,
for sure, it's weird that they don't mention it, and I feel like yeah, there's points where they could have come back. Now I'm just thinking about the loophole, and so we're gonna go down this
oh
rabbit
no,
hole
not
because
loophole
now I'm
time. All
because
right.
like does he
Let me
get the?
sit
I
back.
know for a fact that I've said this before on the podcast. I know I had to have in the thousands of hours, but like
The
so
dead horses are
so
just
feel
piling up.
free feel free to respond with what you've said before
I
as well.
will.
But like, did the Man in Black get the idea from the loophole after he sees Locke time travel in the 50s?
Oh no.
And he's like, oh, this guy time traveled. Oh, that means that he's from the future. Oh, that
Right.
means that, you know, like, is
Yeah.
that when
The
you can go?
loophole's the compass. In fact, I used to think like there's no origin. It just like he got the idea from his own plan.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which is so fucked up. No, I actually believe it's a bit worse, better. I don't know. Take your pick. It seems to me, I know we talked about this and there are other possibilities, but I actually thought that he got the idea for the loophole when he meets Locke in the donkey wheel chamber.
Mm.
That like he reads Locke's mind at that point, and because that's quote unquote earliest, the earliest point that they time travel to. Um, and he appears as Christian, and I know that like doesn't make any sense, but I was thinking maybe he scanned Locke at that point and realized his plan, and that's when he decided to do the plan that he found out about that way. But you could definitely do a 50s version
What do you mean he
and say
realized
that
his
that happened
plan?
later.
He scanned Locke's mind and what?
So, like, he infers from the stuff he sees that Locke went through, like what his loophole plan was.
So he saw his plan because because there's
Yeah,
points in Locke's memory where the plan was already in
that's part of the
motion,
plan. Yeah, exactly.
and he goes, "Oh, that's my plan. I already did, but
That's me
not
doing the
yet."
plan. Yeah, he can see himself in the cabin. That's where he can get the
That's a
image of Christian.
that's the problem with time travel. That's the problem with time
It's a
travel right there.
mess.
The effect can come after the cause.
Yep, yep. He sees
So
Richard telling him he has to die. He sees the original encounter at the cabin. He sees every point, all the time travel. He can see the 50 stuff at that point if you want.
mhm, mhm.
Like basically that whole thing, and so he can realize that, oh, locks the loophole, locks my ticket off this island. I got to do that plan that I already did.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's a time travel paradox, definitely.
Mhm.
But that is something that I believed at one point. I don't know if it really makes
But
sense.
doesn't that mean he can do weird things like because we were having that idea of well maybe he can meet himself in the past with the
Yes.
smoke monster, the Man in
Yes.
Black. So can't he do a thing where like it's in the past and he goes, man, I just saw Locke's mind in this loophole. I've got some questions for my future self, so I'll make a plan to meet myself in this
Oh
future,
my god. This is
and then
where I
like
want that loophole episode. I'm ready to see
right.
this.
Yeah, and then he like knows when to show up because he has a memory of when he'll be there.
Oh.
And yeah, and then he can talk to himself about I don't know what.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
no.
didn't he just team up with his past self and turn into two smoke monsters and destroy everybody? I don't
It
know.
does seem like he could
Maybe
have
that
done
was
that.
harder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. The problem with the donkey wheel thing is it would have been great if it was clear that he wanted Locke to turn it. Well, in that case, yeah, he's there when Locke turns it, but Ben
mhm.
turns it the first time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Oh, it's so screwed up. Wow. And like Jacob was making tapestries all this time. Like, he wasn't even
Mhm.
playing the game.
Game? Yeah, no, he doesn't play
Game? What
games.
game? The game of tapestries? Why
Yeah,
does that
yeah.
matter?
And this is where like the game changes because we're in the introduction, which is like Black Rock era, I think, slightly before. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you bring people to prove me wrong. Well, you're never gonna do it because the people are bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob's like, no, they're, whatever. It only ends once and progress, blah blah blah. His
Mm-hmm.
greatest line that makes no sense. And then the turn that they've already started to make is, yeah, that's like what I used to do, but like I'm kind of tired of this. So what I do now is I bring people to replace me, which is kind of different,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like, listen, we had a bet for the last 2,000 years about the nature of humanity, but I'm getting tired and
Yeah.
I need a replacement. So this is kind of like the addendum to that idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm bringing them, but this isn't exactly to prove anybody wrong. This is cuz like I need someone else to do this
Mhm.
job.
Yeah.
And they've already made that switch cuz they reference candidates like
Yep.
it's underway that it's a thing.
And that's the thing, right? And so I think our brains want to make this natural parallel between those two ideas and say, "Oh, okay. Well, then the person who proves Jacob correct is the one who should be the candidate. The one who
Right.
proves that the nature of humanity is good is the one who has what it takes to lead the island, right?" So
Right.
it makes it seem like that's part and parcel of like the same experiment.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, that's true. Um but it doesn't really seem like that's how it plays out. It
No,
seems
I mean,
like
yeah, they don't make that connection.
yeah.
And then there's the whole warden thing, right? So
Right,
not that
right.
I
Let
just have
keeping
to
the
have a
evil.
replacement, but the evil's got to stay.
Right. That's his other job is to like keep the evil in.
Yeah. I mean, that's the weird thing about Lost is like there's nothing that's just one thing. Like everything's like five things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like it reminds me of American Horror Story, like season 1,
Mm.
where like Murder House, where
Mhm.
like again, not to spoil anything really, but like they have this house, right? It's a crazy
Hope no
house,
one dies there.
and like and like the house has like a big backstory, but it also has about like 85 small backstories. Like there's so many characters with like history there and shit that happened there.
Mm.
And it's all like all over the place. And they just, as you go through the season, they just keep adding things in. Like,
Mhm.
and then this happened. Then in the 60s, there was this thing, and they cut, and it's like, oh shit, another fucking thing happened. Like, God, how murder is this house?
Mhm. So much
It's
Murder
too
House.
much. Anyway, that's what this kind of feels like. It's like they just keep picking away at it. Like, I feel like it's some kind of writing thing where you feel the need to kind of add to it. You don't want to just stick with what you did
Mhm.
before, but it ends up crowding the storyline with
Yeah.
like too many things. Ben is kind of like that too, with like his reasons for killing
Yep.
Jacob. It's like
Yep.
they just keep like piling on, and then it's like kind of too much. it
Mhm.
doesn't it doesn't actually work because they're not focused enough to like make a point. It's sort of like, yeah, it's this
Yeah.
and a little of that and a dash of
Well,
this
it's like
and like,
life.
oh god damn it. Of course it comes back to fucking life in the end.
It's so much like life. It's too much like life. Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Life. Life. Life.
I know like that answers everything, but it's also like kind of bullshit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like life.
That's the god.
That's what's great
Oh
about it.
god.
It's inescapable. Like it's one of those things where like you you can't even not play the game. Like once like it's like the loophole, the comp is like you've always been playing the game. Like you can't go, well, no, I wanna I don't know, it's not like life. Nope, just like life. But no, it's not
Right.
like life. Well, life is not like life. Well, it's like, God damn it. It's like a
Shit.
dimension you can't leave. Once you're sort of already there before you even know it.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's impossible to argue like your way out of that. So
Yeah.
it's just like,
Just like
well,
life.
god
Just like life. Just like life.
damn it. Oh god.
Yeah, yeah. It's but I think that's the finale. I don't know if I'm just relieved that the season's over or if like the finale was good. I can't
I think it
really.
was an improvement on the previous
Yeah,
stuff,
I think it
but
did seem to help. It streamlined some things, but it really showed like a lot of things didn't matter.
major problems.
Like
Yeah. The
a
character
lot of
stuff was terrible at
yeah.
times.
I mean, to me, I remember originally watching this, and the best thing was really Lafleur getting to see a different side of Sawyer
Right.
was really interesting,
Yeah.
and yeah, the Dharma stuff is lackluster. That's disappointing. It didn't really come to much. It would have been nice to leave some mystery there. Um,
Yeah. I agree. I agree. They
or
just
even
ruined it and then pieced out.
yeah, and in terms of the idea of fan service, like I think my version of Lost again is probably better as a book because I would have wanted to just like litter it with stuff like Rosinski, like just some way making it where it would work for him to go. Well, I'd never kill myself.
Yeah, of course.
Just like just a little line, so you call into
Yeah, I'm
question something
surprised
that
they didn't do
happens
that because that actually
later.
seems like something they would do.
Yeah,
Like they like putting in those wink lines, you
yeah,
know?
but not enough. They never wink enough for my taste.
Not enough winks. All right, more
Need some more
winks.
wings. Um, but yeah, I mean, when you have this whole time period in the '70s, I feel like they could have done a little bit more making it connect. Obviously, my biggest pet peeve about the show and season 5 in general is that it's not clear that the Losties have any impact on the incident, or this
Right.
is just what always happened. Um, and
Yeah.
it would have
Yeah.
been nice, right? So there's this one way in which it's you can decide for yourself as the audience member if them going to the '70s was meaningful, and that's what prevented the incident, like a bad version of the incident, from happening, and it saved
Right.
the
Right.
world or it saved the island.
Right.
Like, you can sort of maybe say that for yourself,
Yeah.
but with very little supporting evidence. But
Right.
but
Wishful
like, I
thinking.
wish I wish there was one level higher where someone on the show could have just said that,
Right.
could have posited that idea, and then it's a legitimate takeaway for the audience.
Right.
So that would have been nice of maybe after this in season 6 or something, where they go, you know well, hey, imagine if we didn't go. Imagine it could have been worse if they
Right.
hit that pocket
Right.
without us
Right.
being there,
Yeah.
or something like that.
I'm left with the impression that the show's position is Miles, like his line of like, what if what we're doing is the incident?
I think this is whatever happened, and I think
Yeah.
this always happened, and there was never not an incident with the bomb like
Yeah.
this. So, asking what would have happened if the Losties weren't there is not a meaningful question.
Right. Right.
It's just as meaningful. What if Desmond didn't press the button, or would have
Right.
pressed the button this time?
Yeah.
And what if they wouldn't have crashed so it's like all these, you can ask that about an infinite number of things on the show, right?
Right.
So it's not really meaningful. But yeah, I just wish sometimes they would have pushed a bit towards some assertion about what it really what these that these things matter and what they mean.
Yeah, yeah. If they're not going to make it where Faraday's plan will erase the past, all
Mm-hmm.
that. If they're not going to make it where that succeeds, they should at least give us something. Like, yeah, at least it accomplishes X. Like,
Mm-hmm.
pick your thing. Some version of what you're saying. It actually did save the world, et cetera, et cetera. There is like some kind of point to it.
Yeah.
um, I think that yeah, it would have helped a lot. It would have helped a lot because even if they're wrong about their reasons for doing it,
Mm-hmm.
you could still get more invested in the plot. They should have made it more interesting. It's a bad reason. I don't like that. That plot's bad.
Which plot?
The whole incident plot of we're gonna throw the bomb down the hole and reset the past.
Talk about a hole in one. Uh, I guess that's why they let the doctor do it. They play golf all the time.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and it's tough for it to be Miles's big plan, and he's not there to bring it to fruition. That's a little unfortunate. But
Dan,
it
but
feels
yes, yes.
Miles, Dan, those are the same names.
He does seem like
Uh,
a Miles. You've done that
yeah,
before. It's
I
so
know I've
true.
totally done that before. I don't know why he looks like Miles. A Miles. Yeah, and then you have Saeed picking up the technical slack, which is kind of nice because he has nothing else to do.
Right. Yeah, he's just
But
sitting
then he
there.
just like he gets shot and hands it off to
Yep.
Jack. So it's like this game of hot potato.
Yeah.
Like, who has the bomb? And Jack gets so amped. It's so weird. His whole arc this season is so fucked up. Where like, I don't care, Kate. I'm not doing shit. I'm not saving Ben.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to do nothing. I'm just going with the flow. Oh, what? The flow can change? Oh, I'm gonna. Oh, okay.
Reset the flow? Fuck
Yeah, reset the
yeah!
flow. Okay, damn. I didn't like this flow.
The flow's
Uh,
bad.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, it's
it's
a
super
mess.
weird. It's like, well, what happened, Jack? Like, if this was all for a reason, then why are you resetting it? Now it's like, well, it's all for the reason, and the reason was for us to reset it
to
so that it
reset
was
it.
never for the reason.
Which is bad. That's
Yeah.
bad. No, it's Jack shouldn't want to do this. So many of those characters shouldn't want to do this.
Yeah.
And that's one of the many reasons why it's a shit plot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Juliet gets the worst version, but I think they're all implicated to a degree in like
Mhm.
buying into this
Well,
plan.
even Sawyer's thing about Juliet when he's like, first you're all gung ho on the sub to come back, and now you to stop Jack, and now you want to help him. And it was like it's actually worse than that because it was like first it's like let's leave the island and go off and live our lives, and now no, let's stop and go back to the island and
Right.
stop Jack. And like no, let's continue and help Jack and blow
Yep,
up the
yep,
thing.
yep.
It's like it's a
Multiple
lot.
steps there. Yeah, yeah. It's all over the place. I love that because it's like, yeah, you're describing bad character writing.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like they should have just like went a step further and go, women are crazy, aren't they? Can't make up their minds. Like it just seems like yeah, it was like
Yeah,
so inconsistent in the writing that it was just
yeah.
like, let's just say this is bad,
It
guys.
yeah, it definitely does seem like there's some kind of weird like sexist tinge to the whole thing, and that makes it worse than it
It makes
already
it
is,
worse.
which is pretty
Yeah. Because
bad.
it's already predicated on a love triangle, which is
Yeah,
already trite, and then like
yeah,
this jealousy thing, which isn't even rooted in and I wish again, like, have the fucking courage of your conviction. So like if you're gonna write that in the context of Rose and Bernard saying, hey, doesn't matter if we die, it only matters that we're together. And in that moment, Sawyer looks at Kate and to the audience, and oh, he loves her, and to Juliet, oh, he loves her. Great, fine.
mhm.
Who cares? Now, when Juliet asked him about it, he shouldn't just say, I don't care who I looked at. I'm with you. No woman wants to hear that. That sounds like, well, I'd go cheat on you, but we're married. Like that's what it sounds like. I signed that paper, so I guess I can't have that affair I really want. Like, that's the least reason to do it, right? That's not that convincing of a reason. He's like, well, I made my bed, might as well lie in it. Like, there's no helicopter for me to jump out of here, so I guess I'm with you, Juliet. It's like, come on, that doesn't make any sense. Like, he should have explained why he looked at her and explained what that meant. He should have said, I looked at her because I wanted to feel what it would be like if I was going to die and that's who I was next to. And I realized that's not who I want to be next to when I'm dying.
Yeah,
Like give it a reason, you know, yeah, I don't know. I don't like that thing when it's like so much rides on the line, but then like they don't really what's the word I'm looking for? They don't really flesh it out.
yeah,
Again, with the
yeah.
Ben stuff, all of his lines
Yep.
about what he's doing and why, they don't really flesh it
What
out and
about
like,
you? It bothers me in a
mhm,
similar way. It just
yeah.
feels like they need him to kill Jacob. Let's move
Now,
this
obviously,
along.
there's something with Ben and his dad, and Ben killed his dad. He's got daddy, like all good
Right.
cowboys have daddy issues. We know
Yep.
that. So, but like, it would have been nice if that was some sort of line that Ben's dad told him one time. You
Right.
know, Ben, when Ben's a little boy or some, not that, well, he shouldn't remember that, because of the whole, he doesn't remember
Oh.
what happened before he
Oh
got shot.
God. Oh
But
God.
some
Bad.
line like that, maybe he doesn't even remember it explicitly. But if his dad said, "Oh, I don't have time for you. What about you?" or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then like, okay, Ben's not being rational in any sense of the word. He's Jacob is a stand-in for the attention he never got from his dad.
Yeah.
Like if that's what it's actually about, right? And it's not about Ben feeling um that Jacob didn't see him, but it's Ben's unreconciled anger with his dad never seeing him. Like that would have been cool to play out. Um and Man in Black could have ramped that up in Ben somehow. Isn't
Right.
Jacob just like your dad, like there but not really there? You
Yeah. Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um, never really helping you when you're in need, or
Mm-hmm.
something. How do you know that, Locke?
And you
Um,
know, that would have tied in with the whole Christian thing as well. That whole idea of like
mhm.
exploiting
Yep.
those conflicts from their past and their family,
Mhm.
and particularly with fathers in that case, to try to motivate a character. Like it would have
Mhm.
fit definitely to try to do that. I
Yep.
think they made it Alex, and it's also like a bit literal, just like "Hey, you better follow him or I'll kill you." Like okay,
Well, but they started it about Alex, so by the end, it's not about Alex, right? That's the whole
yeah,
problem. So it's like by the end, it's about Ben and this need that he wasn't seen or something,
right,
which should be about his dad, but they didn't really say that.
yeah,
Um, and because it almost comes back to, well, Ben and Locke are the same person; they just want to be special,
yeah,
and their dad never made them
yeah.
feel special.
Yeah. And by
And
the way, Ben, you're getting it a lot better than Locke did.
yeah, you got both
Locke's
your
in a box
kidneys
outside.
locked in a box. Uh, yeah, locked in a box. Somebody poured him out in the fucking sand like a fucking potato sack. Just no respect for this guy. Just no respect.
yeah.
Jeez, he's a Rodney
Dump him
Dangerfield of
there.
yeah, Rodney Dangerfield of Lost characters. Like, God, I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's like,
Yeah,
but I feel like Ben, if you only knew
yeah.
like what Locke actually went through,
Mm-hmm.
like he's actually way less. His story is way more pathetic than
Yeah,
yours.
yeah.
You
Ben
should
had it
not
pretty
be
good.
jealous.
Ben had it pretty good.
He gets to be number two at the end.
Yeah, he
Like,
does.
come on.
Yeah, but
I
that's because he
mean,
didn't really do that much bad stuff on the show the whole time. That's why he
yeah.
gets such a good
Yeah, no,
ending,
it's a good
right?
it's a good point. No,
Right?
no, you're right.
I mean, of all the characters on the show, Ben does the least harm, right?
He
I
was
think.
there, you know, he was always helpful
Yep, never killed
and
anyone, never told a lie. Um,
oh, I'm done lying. He was serious when
oh,
he
I
said
bet
that.
he was serious.
That was his last lie.
Yeah, remember when he went to Echo's Unfinished Church and repented all his sins? You
That was
know,
a great part. Oh god.
baptized himself in the water. Um, Fire plus
Oh, I love
water.
plot lines that don't matter. It's great. He got involved in all of those
All
apparently.
of them.
When he helped Claire
Yeah.
get on the helicopter.
Yep. Yep. He was there after you, Claire. Please. Oh,
I love it.
jeez.
He just turned into like crappy Nikki and Paulo.
He's always, yeah, he's always around in the plot lines. Nobody, yeah.
He just like picks up the slack for all the drop plot lines. I love
hmm
that idea. That's a great way to write a show. Like, what do we just like never do anything with? Let's just throw that together into like one big
Yep.
flashback.
It's like every night when the Losties are like sleeping in season one, Ben shows up with blue tarps and just like litters them around for people. and
Yes,
like torches and blue tarps.
yes. Who's leaving these blue tarps? Oh,
We just keep finding blue tarps everywhere, luckily.
they're just here. I mean, they're
Yeah.
so useful.
Yeah, it's great.
Who's gonna refuse?
I like the idea like it's when Locke is banging on the hat and Desmond's going to the bathroom, so he turns the light on. I like the idea of like you cut to a scene where like Desmond's sleeping and Ben like puts Desmond's hand in a bowl of water, which makes him have to go to the bathroom. And then he hides real quick when Desmond gets up.
Oh god. Yes.
Ben's responsible for every innocuous thing.
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's so yeah. I want to see that. I really want to see that.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. But yeah. So for a finale, pretty decent. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it helped. It helped end the season on a higher note than the season was going on for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like it's weird because like there are serious major problems. I guess like it
hmm
shows how crappy it was before this. But this is actually a huge improvement
Yeah.
even with like major issues in
Yep.
both plot lines, and it's paving the way for stuff that's actually even worse in terms of the main plot line.
Yeah, in terms of the rest of the show.
Yeah, like
Um,
we haven't even gotten into the stuff that's like really shitty, but they already kind of fucked it up. And
mhm.
yet, yeah, way more interesting than anything they've been doing in the last part of the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would kind of give it a thumbs up too, even though it's all relative. You realize like, well, this is at least delivering something of interest. And I agree,
Mhm.
like Jacob seems like an interesting character at this point. I feel like his
Mhm.
worst scene in this episode is that last one. The whole "what about you" thing. Like,
Yep.
it's very disappointing to me that that's all he has to say. And it's really just like, we come on, you
And
need to die, we gotta
it's
move
just
on.
not clear to me why he says that. Is he because his whole point was you have a choice, Ben.
Yeah,
So he shouldn't wanna sway Ben either way.
I agree.
He shouldn't wanna provoke him, so he shouldn't wanna say the one thing that's gonna make
Yeah,
Ben kill him.
exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
so but he does seemingly. Um, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it was also weird to me why Jacob told Man in Black, "They're coming." Like,
Hmm.
why did he say that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like a threat or warning or something like that. Like, just because I'm dead doesn't mean that you can leave. Like, there's still these candidates, and you're gonna have to deal with them too. And
Mm,
basically, like you haven't won. I feel like that's the point.
hmm, hmm, okay. I'll buy something like that.
I mean, at the time, it's supposed to be kind of a mystery.
Yeah.
You know, I we definitely talked about it. I remember it being a thing back in the day, but knowing what he means, that just seems like the most obvious thing to say. Like, I mean, is the question like, why would he volunteer information like that?
Yeah, yeah, why would he give a heads up to him?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if there's a great reason for him to do that.
I mean, I that's why I say I'll buy the idea that he's saying essentially you haven't won yet.
It's not over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like the best way to sell
Mhm.
that, because yeah, otherwise it's sort of just a bridge for, and it is one of those indicators that Jacob has some awareness or power or something uh, that goes beyond the normal that is never really defined. I think the Man in Black, of course, telekinesis aside,
Mhm.
and claiming aside, and okay, now when I add to the list, it's like, okay, it's not like this. However, I will say that the Man in Black has certain powers that are clearly defined.
Yeah.
And I think Jacob's powers, none of them are clearly defined. Like, what
No,
are
no.
they? He can like touch people, and it does what exactly? Like,
Mhm.
he can give Richard like eternal life or something. Like, okay, he can just do that in general. Like,
Mhm.
the lighthouse. Like, is
And
that his
like
power, or is that harnessing the power of the island? You know?
how come I know we've said this before, but like Richard's not a candidate? I feel like Richard should be like, "What about me, Jacob? All these years of service and I'm not even in the running?"
Yeah, it does seem unfair. It seems like he's obviously VP and like he should be next in line.
Or is it like he can't win because he's an employee and it's
Right.
like one of those contests where like you can't win
Right.
if like
Oh, it sucks. Why is it like that? Don't
yeah.
make it a contest.
It's the
No.
legalese. It's the
Promote
fine
from
print.
within. Fuck
No, fine
that.
print is no employees are allowed.
Such bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. I'm talking to HR about
Do
this.
I have to advise them too? Like, no, apparently, because he leaves, but just like, I don't even care about the others. Like, that's the other point of Ben's like jealousy that is sort of like
Mhm.
off base. It's like, not only what about you, Ben,
Mhm.
What
Hmm.
about any of these people? Like, I don't actually care any more about them,
Maybe
for the
that's what he
record.
meant. What about you, the royal you? You all.
What about all you?
It's just a deficiency in the English language where he didn't really communicate that, but he meant
It
the
is the
royal
problem,
you.
in yeah, in like the French translation, like that could have come across
Hmm.
and it
Hmm.
would have totally changed the scene. That's why
Yeah.
it's different in French Lost. In French Lost, Ben doesn't kill Jacob.
They have
He's
a baguette dinner instead. A little merlot, a little baguette.
Of course, cheese,
Oh, the cheese is ever present.
obviously.
Yeah.
What else would go with the baguette?
It was weird that Jacob was eating in that first scene, and it's
Mhm.
like I don't see him as a person who
Fish
eats.
taco?
Was that his last meal? like, it's weird that he has to eat.
Yeah, Man in Black says I just ate.
And it's like, why are you eating? You're a smoke monster.
Yeah, I don't get that. It's like, do they have to eat or yeah, I
To
mean that
just
comes into
have it.
like where like the immortality or the powers are not like clearly defined. How
Yeah.
do they stay alive? Is it magic or is it just like are they just like Richard where they just keep living, until someone kills them?
Yeah, that I was thinking to myself, like, can Richard
Basically.
starve to death?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I would think so, right? I mean, can't he be killed? It's just that that's what I'm saying. Like, are they
Hmm.
more like Richard or are they
Yeah.
different, you know?
Well, they can be killed. I mean, he got stabbed, so they definitely can be killed.
True. A Man
Um,
in Black can't be killed like that for whatever reason.
because he
But
doesn't have a real body.
yeah, yeah, he has to like get a real body out of nothing for no apparent reason. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Uh that's some bullshit from the next finale.
So I wanted to talk about the scene, Jacob visiting people, because
Yeah.
it's super weird. Like they don't line the flashbacks don't line up. They're in different times in these people's
All over the
lives,
place, yeah.
and then it makes me wonder. Okay, some of them it's like okay, you're broken. Kate is stealing, and Sawyer's upset about
Mhm.
his mother's killer.
Yeah.
And so they have something that's keeping them broken and pain by the time they get to the island. Now Saeed was a torturer, and I guess that's why he was broken. And he came to
Right.
the island. He had the whole thing with Nadia, and then he came to the island. But then, like, he leaves the island and finds Nadia, right?
Yeah.
And is now happy.
Yeah.
And but Jacob like breaks him for him to come back to the island.
Mhm.
So it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Only because he's a candidate, like, and like, is it like Nadia is the person you need to get over, just like Sawyer's supposed to get over the real Sawyer? Like
Right.
Nadia's not your true love, no matter what
Yeah.
your heart tells you.
Yeah, the show wants us to believe that clearly.
Yeah, and I
See,
wish
we
there
got
was
this
some
season 1
reason.
character who needs to take that slot, so
Yeah, I would. This white lady needs the spot for this woman of
Ooh,
color.
ouch.
I'm just gonna say what it is, guys. Let's just say what it is. It's 2019. We're
Yeah.
woke.
So woke.
So woke. They weren't woke back then. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So is that the idea that like I really wish that it would have been something bad with Nadia, right? Like that would have been nice. Like okay, Saeed wants to be with Nadia, but he's broken when he's with her, and he'll
Right.
never understand that. Almost like if there was something, and they didn't have time for this for real development of characters, but like if like Nadia never let Saeed forget that he was a torturer, right? She
Mhm.
loved him, they were in love, but like when he's with her, he's always that torturer because that's how their relationship was cemented.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing he's got to break from. He'll never be a fully actualized person because they both can't get over that, whatever
Yeah.
incident or something. So that's
Yeah.
why it's better that he's not with her because it's
Right.
actually growth for him to get over that period. Like I wish they had time to make that work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because he plays off like this is his one true love, and the
Yeah.
show won't let him have her.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she's not the right skin color.
Skin
I
color,
think.
not blonde enough.
No, it's even worse than what you're saying. Like, not only do they not do that, and not only do they do this other thing, but they actually have him say, and this was a
Mm,
Lindelof special here, Q's too. When Locke goes to see him, and he's
hmm
like building houses wherever that was, he tells Locke, "Those are the happiest 9 months of my life."
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it's even worse. He
Yeah,
fucking told him.
yeah, yep, yep.
Like, not it's like you just said that. It's like I guess
hmm
we're supposed to believe he's just wrong. Like I
hmm
don't know, but you had him say those words, and now you're gonna say no. It was really those like it was that like 5 days with
He
Shannon
was
that was like
wrong
way
though.
better. He
That
was
wasn't the
wrong.
happiest 9 months of his life. He's just wrong about that, like life.
Wrong. Not like life. God damn it.
Can't escape.
Not that. But yeah, it's
Uh,
just too
yeah.
much. It's too much to not only tell us, because yeah, what you're saying would make more sense if there was something wrong during that period where it could not have worked.
hmm
Then it would be more logical that it was spin back to he has to go back and he ends up with Shannon in the end. It would at least be logical if still
hmm
bullshit, you
hmm
know?
He
But
should
like,
like Shannon's the first person who ever saw me not as a torturer.
exactly. Exactly. They never
It's
say
so
that
easy.
shit.
It's so the writing is easy, ladies and gentlemen. It's really simple. Take it from me, the non-professional writer. This is really easy. Once someone has done the hard work of
Right.
creating a TV show, it's
Right.
really easy to figure out how to fix it, everyone. Like, it's really easy. I don't know why they don't just do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it does seem like they make counterproductive choices a lot of the time,
hmm
and I don't really
Like life.
know. God damn it. God damn it.
It's inescapable.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, I I so like taking apart the Jacob visits. So you have Sawyer and Kate, which was childhood,
hmm
and then you have Jack and Sun and Jin. Uh, let's see. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. They were adults before the crash, the original crash. I
Yep.
mean, 8:15. So that, and then you have Saeed and Hurley, and
hmm
they are after the crash,
Yep.
after Oceanic 6, but before going back, the
hmm
second time,
hmm
the second trip back, Ajira. So I think that is weird. I think
You know,
partially they're doing cleanup with certain
yeah.
points.
So now I'm thinking the touching is just the candidate. That's nominating you as a candidate is the
I think that's
touching.
what they say in
Okay.
season 6.
Well,
Yeah,
then they're right
touching is a
because I
candidate
agree with
thing.
him.
I
Okay.
forgot what you said it was earlier.
I thought it was those are the people who will disappear from 316
Oh, right,
when
right,
it
right.
comes back,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
almost worked.
It
But
does.
but
It
now
does.
that goes unexplained, so that's better, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's way better.
Why they vanish off the plane and go time travel? Who
Who
knows?
knows? Thank
Because
you.
they're candidates. Well,
It's
fine.
like life. We don't
Like,
know.
oh, there it is. Everything's like life.
We'll
God
just
damn
never
it.
know.
hmm
What, do you get answers to all your questions in life?
Really? All the answers you get are interesting answers? Really?
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah,
God
the
can't see
episode
this
touches
podcast.
on like it touches on so many things. It's hard to even like we just can't cover it all. But I guess it's the kind of thing where everything that this episode touches on will continue to haunt us throughout season 6. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of chance to dwell on some of those things as we go through the rest of the episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Oh Nadia, don't stand in the street. Mm,
Was it
jeez.
Widmore's guy? Like Jacob? Anything? Comments?
Yeah. And Jacob's reading a book. Is this the first book he's read, or is he always reading books?
Right.
That's the thing. They gave him too much power to just leave the island whenever he wanted to, without any explanation of how he's actually doing it.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty crazy that he's like, teleporting.
Never mind the fact that, like, in Across the Sea, Mother's big point is like, you will never leave this island.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole reason the whole Man in Black thing gets started. He wants to leave the island, and she don't want him to leave. And
She
you're
don't
never
want
gonna
to
leave.
leave.
You can't leave. And he's
I
like,
can't hurt her. You can't hurt her. You can't leave. I don't know what characters were being.
It's just annoying that then Jacob gets to like leave like all the time
Yeah.
and do whatever he wants.
And now and it makes it seem like they could have had a plot where Man in Black wants to kill everyone so he can be in charge of the island,
Yeah.
so that he can leave and come and go as he please. He basically he would get Jacob's power to leave.
Yeah. They could have done that.
They could have done that.
They definitely could have done that.
And
then,
or
yeah.
I was gonna say, or they could have said, "Oh, well, once Jacob built his lighthouse, that's how he's leaving. He's refracting his spirit across the world, or something."
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. But they didn't say that, of course.
No, they didn't.
All they said was that he was watching them. They
Yeah.
never had the lighthouse like defined as having any other function.
Mm-hmm.
So if they want us to believe it's true, they didn't give us enough information. It could be true,
Yep.
but how is he traveling? Did he donkey wheel out of there? Like, did he build a boat? Like, what
Mhm.
did he do? Like, I have no idea. And they never
Yeah.
tell us. So
Yeah.
who fucking knows?
And does he eat at restaurants? And does he
Oh God.
keep up on pop culture? Does he go sightseeing? Uh, and it's like it would be interesting too if there was like some idea that he could only leave for a certain amount of time, right?
Right.
Because what if he could leave for like
Right.
30 years?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, according to that original draft of season 6, he had a baby.
I was gonna say Alana, the whole thing with Alana. So
Yeah. That takes a little time.
takes 9 months.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah. Which is
And it raises a lot of questions, which is probably why they cut it.
yeah, it's too much.
No. We're not doing that. But you thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough for me.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, Jack's all over the place. I'm just rewatching the episode here.
Yeah.
He's like so manic.
Oh God, yeah, he's a mess.
Juliet's parents getting a divorce for no specific reason.
No, it's so they can say the one line that she'll repeat later.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's just
I
bad.
once heard my parents tell me something, so I'm gonna repeat it to you
They said this
now.
one thing, and now I'm going to blow up the bomb.
I'm gonna bomb it up.
Bomb time.
I was trying to see what Jin's Dharma thing said. It's just who's he supposed to be? Is he Jin? Did they call him Jin?
Jin from Dharma, yeah.
Okay.
I think they all use their real names except for Sawyer. He could have said, "I'm James Ford."
It said
They
Jin
wouldn't give a
Security.
shit.
Yeah, he's maybe there's only one name per Dharma uniform, so there was already a James.
Yeah, yeah, maybe we're supposed to believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do they embroider the suits here, or are they embroidered off island and they have to
Important
be
question.
transported? So there's like a 3 to 7 business day waiting period
Right,
before
right,
you
right. They
get
gotta like
your.
send a sub or a
Yep.
drone or some shit like over to the factory so they can like sew like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we got more uniforms to
Yep.
embroider.
Yep.
Pull up a chair, Floyd.
It's a living. Yeah. Uh, I love Sun's line of "You got any alcohol?" And I'm like, "You, what are you talking about? Like, you wouldn't drink alcohol right now. What have you? What?
It's really
Why is?
weird. Like it comes out of nowhere. Sun has
Yeah,
never been a kind of character who's like,
yeah. Things are bad. Let me take a drink.
I'm
Like,
gonna
that's
drop my
never.
stars. Things aren't even that bad. It's just
It's
like
not.
boring and there's nothing to do.
Yeah, that's about right.
And there's no what a
And
fucking
the others, I'm watching the scene where Alana and Bram bring the body out to the others, and they got their guns drawn. Like,
mhm.
why are you drawing your guns? You don't know anything. You don't know who
Yeah.
these people are. You don't even know what you're doing. You
Yeah,
don't even
yeah.
know. Well, maybe that's why they have their guns drawn, because they have no idea
They
what's
have no
happening.
idea what anybody is or anything is doing.
That's their look. That's their motto. The others, we don't know what nobody is, and we don't know what nobody's doing. And we like it that way.
Yeah. The others are so useless. They're
Yeah.
definitely like Dharma all over again, which makes sense that they just move into the barracks because
Yep.
that's like
Yep.
a perfect fit for them.
Yeah, it's like life where there's just a group of people who don't really have their own agenda. They're just around, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right. Well,
The
wow, season
incident.
5, The Incident, parts 1 and
There
2.
went a season.
Yeah, wow. I mean, the highlights of this season were few and far between, but but yeah, I mean, I was just trying to think, like, if I was watching Lost originally and I had to stop watching at a certain season to have the maximum benefit of the show, I think season 4 would have been the last season to watch.
Yeah, I
End it
agree.
end it there.
Yeah, yeah,
This question of if they'll reset everything, I like it in a sci-fi sense. It's a crazy idea, but as an audience member who spent 5 seasons
yeah.
watching a show, I don't want them to reset everything.
Yeah, that was I remember being really upset about that back
Yeah,
then. Like if they reset the whole show, that's gonna be really irritating.
yeah,
I do not want to see that.
yeah,
Yeah, you shouldn't it's very frustrating to have I mean, it's frustrating to have the characters want something the audience doesn't want, but this is like taking that up to 11 cuz we're watching Lost and you're about to tell us that nothing that happened in Lost matters
hmm,
and that is not what we want to hear. And you know that, which
yeah.
I guess is supposed to be a clue about where it's going, but I think that's actually just bad.
Well, it's weird to go, okay, so there's no way they're really going to undo everything. Most shows wouldn't do that, so they're probably not going to do that. So when Julia explodes the bomb, what's going to happen? Well, we know they have to leave the 70s at some point. That's what they're really trying to do.
Yeah.
So the Losties will get back to the present
Jacob said they're
timeline
coming. Maybe
because
it
they're coming,
means
and then so basically nothing happened.
nothing happened. They just flash into the future.
Yeah. So Dan was wrong.
Dan was so wrong.
He forgot to carry the one.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
And we're the variables, but whatever happened happened. I think
Yeah.
it's like both those things are true.
Yep. Yep. We're the variables, but the equation constrains us,
Mm-hmm.
if you will.
Yeah, I
We
will.
we can't just like make anything happen that we want.
Mm-hmm. Because history is history.
Yeah.
Even though it's our present, it's still the past.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna do something new, it's old.
That was the thing that happened in the old days.
Yeah, because you can only do one thing.
Yeah.
So that's the thing you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think for that reason it was just a bad path. And I don't like the fake out with the flash sideways either. So
Yeah. Oh.
um
Oh.
just a bad plan. Um very disappointing. And yeah, the fact that they hinge an entire season on that,
Yeah, I mean, we're not good. We're not looking good going into season 6, folks.
no, bad idea.
Yeah, I think we're on a down slope, downhill incline,
I
and
think
we
that's
just
the real question because yeah, I think it's gonna be is the Flash Sideways gonna seem even more tedious than Dharma?
yes, yes,
Because I feel like I didn't feel that way at the time, but at the time they had a mysterious element going for it.
hmm
And the island at the bottom of the
Well, that
ocean,
was the whole thing. We were
all
we
that
were
shit.
interested in the Flash sideways because we were trying to figure out what was going on. So
Yeah.
now we know
Once you
what's
take
going
that
on,
away,
and now we know none of it matters. It'd be
what
different
is
if it was
left?
like, oh, Jack had this fake son, and now he learned something about his life
Ew!
now.
Oh,
Do
I forgot about Jack's fake
you
son.
forgot about the fake son? Yeah, I mean, so
Ugh.
it'd be different if on a rewatch you don't have the idea that it's a mystery anymore, so you lose benefits from that, but it still matters plot wise because the characters learn something from that time that they
Right.
will not, but that doesn't even happen.
No, their
It's
whole job
just
is to just forget about it and
is
move on.
that's yeah, it's like purgatory. It's just a waiting period.
It's filler,
It's just
yeah.
yeah, it's like busy work. It's busy
Yeah,
life work.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
like we're gonna hold out here until we're all ready to meet up
Mhm.
and and get the fuck out. And yeah, basically like the only reason to stay there that we're given is to work out their problems. So
Mhm. The
I
problems that
guess
they're supposed to forget.
the problems they're supposed to forget, yeah, those are the ones.
Yeah. I guess they would just spend X amount of time working them out, and then if they work them out, then they'll move on. But somehow they also have to move on together.
Yeah,
And then
it's
there's a problem with
awkward. There is no now
Desmond.
here. There's no now here.
There's no that here.
The timeline works perfectly for
Look at
no
that
apparent
clock on the
reason.
wall. Does that clock say now? Yeah, and then there's a problem with Desmond waking people up artificially. So
Oh, yeah.
I know there's a lot of grossness with season
Yeah.
6, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff is terrible. Oh, God.
Yeah.
What a fucking mess. Yeah, this is what we're about to get into. Oof.
Can't wait.
Woo, here we go.
Join us next time when we talk about the worst season of Lost. It'll be worth our time. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for sticking with us in year 45 of the Lost Lowdown. I'm barely exaggerating. We've got one last big hurdle with our season 6 commentary series, which will probably occur in a little bit of time. We're going to take a little break and do some Twin Peaks podcasting over on Mr. Podcast and maybe some other little projects. So I would expect us to be back at season 6 sometime, perhaps the fall of 2019.
Yeah.
So you all can take a break. Join us for the other combos.
Yeah, exactly. It should be good. If you heard our podcast about season 3 of Twin Peaks, we're gonna kind of circle back and do the older stuff
Mm-hmm.
and maybe look again, do a commentary or something of the later stuff. Think about it. There's a
Yep.
lot there. Obviously, Twin Peaks has its own issues.
Yep.
So we'll be talking about those, the
Mhm.
triumphs, the tragedies.
Mhm.
It's a fun
The
show in a
triumphs, the
totally different
tragedies,
vein
the
from
cherry
Lost.
pies.
And exactly, there you go. That's the tagline.
Mhm. All right. Well, until next time. Thanks and namaste.
Namaste and good luck.